This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Seance Sensei of Exodus, Wondrous Shoe Puff of Sargentanis, Lesot Pona of Hyperion. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/limitbreakradio. And by Shagro! Does your rage of Halone feel more like a rage of Hafone? Is your power slash more like power trash? Feeling like your butcher's block is turning into a butcher's mockery? Rejoice, for all of your worries will be cast away with Shagro. Shade Walker Coconix, or Shagro for short, is an alchemical compound made up of 3 key ingredients: Shade Whisker fish oil, Gridanian walnuts, and Coke. Shagro is perfect for when you simply can't rise to the occasion. Turn your lame Voke into a Provoke faster than you can say, "Daddy, hit me one more time." Shagro, for when you have to be the center of attention.
Live from Eorzea.
Limit Break with your hosts, Aniero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kallo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Mika.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode number 97.
97.
97.
How is it, Juxta, every single time?
Every single time.
Every single time I'm opening the mic to the show, you know exactly, it happens at the same moment every episode. And yet you're typing every time.
Because I have to type something very important.
No, you don't.
What did you type?
Nothing is that important.
What did you type?
What did I type?
Yep.
Joke's on you. That bit has been written since last 2017. That's what he wrote.
2016. Typo.
He didn't even type it right. God damn it. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Limit Break Radio. Good, he has drops again.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week we were dropless.
I know.
Although we did pretty good just saying them ourselves, I thought.
I thought it was really
It's
good.
a matter of opinion.
I think it added a lot to the
was
show.
the best drop. What are you talking about?
Sloppy.
Oh,
What was that?
What?
no.
What?
No.
We have an opinion that our drops were sloppy last week.
Hey, well, they were, but I mean, like,
What?
No.
I like it.
we didn't get enough of that during the goddamn.
Canon confirmed.
my God.
Mika likes it sloppy, guys.
Sloppy.
Stop.
It actually hurts.
No, he says that like there's something about his voice and the way he says it that I think I understand why some people hate the word moist.
Sloppy.
Stop.
Sloppy.
Stop.
Pay. Sloppy. Sloppy. Pay.
Stop it.
Sloppy.
Mika,
Sloppy.
you're not helping.
It's so sloppy.
You're not helping.
I think that I am.
I don't think that you are. I really don't think that you are. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining us live here at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. We're going to kick it on over to our Eorzean studios. Hey, there we are. Looking good there. If you want to join us, you can join us on the Sargentana server. That's, of course, in the Goblet. 5th Ward, plot number, what is it? 30?
30.
30? Yeah,
30.
something like that.
Goblet 5-3.
There you go.
Juxta, I hear you reorganized or redecorated recently.
Yeah, I just put up some of the new furnishings.
Okay.
I got a painting of our light castle up on one of Cookie's bookcases.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep. And I also have a nice little portrait of Yuta and Paplimo.
Okay, great.
You mean? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Anyway, welcome.
What's wrong, guys?
Nothing.
No.
Anyway, yeah, welcome to the show live here at Twitch.
Hey, there's the Light Castle actually.
There it is. There it is. Welcome to the show at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. Also, limitbreakradio.com if you're listening on the podcast. If you came to the show, or if you came to the channel, rather, at 1 p.m. and you found the latest episode of Final Encountercast, I'm going to remind you guys again, our new broadcast time is at 4 p.m. here on Sundays here at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. I want to thank all 195 of you that were smart enough to figure out the time change, because we've been getting a lot of questions about it. Haven't been.
Wait, there's no LBR today, guys.
I know.
And I'd like to say fuck you to those 20 people that just showed up now and didn't come to support Final Encountercast.
Well,
That's why we have two
Or-
shows.
well,
It's not for everyone.
Maybe they're not supporting Final Encountercast. Maybe they were tuning in now expecting to see Final Encountercast.
That's true.
Yeah, what
Maybe
about
those weren't
that?
people who
Except
like
it was at a
FEC.
different. Except it was at a different
that was
channel.
at 5.
Yeah.
so that-
Yeah, and
Those
at 5.
people are over at FEC right now, like, where the fuck is Final Encountercast?
Yeah. Right.
True.
Anyway.
It's a failed podcast.
Yeah. Right. That's why we had to move it back over here. That
Sloppy.
God, stop. Stop.
Would you say we're a sloppy
I will never get
podcast?
sick of that. Do it more, please.
No.
No.
Sloppy.
Stop, Nika. Do not encourage this
It's
shit.
hilarious.
No, it's not.
It was hilarious the first twice.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
Oh,
Can we make grab her by the sloopy a thing?
Oh my god.
grab her by.
A Sloopy.
I don't like the
What is
massive
a
delay.
sloopy?
Yeah.
That was really.
sloppy.
That was
yeah,
poor
he meant
Tor.
sloppy.
Wow.
Thor, that was.
Sloppy.
That really was.
Sloopy.
Amazing.
Can we get this voice actor on to record some drops for us?
Who, Sean Bean?
Is that who that is?
It sounds so
really
much
did-
like
it
We
did.
him.
decided on stream that he sounds so much like Sean Bean.
He does kind of sound like Sean Bean. I'm not gonna.
Also, yes.
Not gonna argue that one. Anyway, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be talking about patch 3.5 today. It's
What a
all
great patch.
all about 3.5 reactions. How did you feel when you finally got through 3.5, all 35 minutes of it?
Yeah, what do you mean finally?
Yeah, right. Well, after all of this buildup, after all this waiting, we've gotten some kind of payoff of something.
Not a lot, though. So I'd say it's a lot like Juxta's Love Life.
Great.
Big build-up, no
Thor
payoff.
can't spell. Oh well, very sloppy.
There you go.
Thor can't spell.
Sloppy.
God damn
Can't
it.
spell. It did
Juxta,
sound
look
very
at me.
English. There.
Juxta, look at me.
What? I'm doing engineering stuff.
Don't.
What do you need?
No more.
Nope.
Sick of that drop already. Stop.
Do you not?
Was that did someone's link pearl just go off?
I think it might have.
Whose was
please,
that?
Please turn off all link pearls while we're doing the show. Thank you very much.
That may have been me. Whoops.
Why are the booze on fire?
Why are the booze on fire?
What?
What is that in reference to?
We have our wine casket next to our studio.
booze.
Oh, the booze.
I thought I wasn't sure if it was saying boobs or booze.
I thought it was saying booze like Boo from Mario.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm literally sitting in front of the message and I thought it said boobs. I did not even bother to read.
Yeah, why
be
are
fair-
boobs on fire?
All
I'm
boobs
curious
are on
how
fire.
the carbuncle clock is floating.
What are you talking about? It's very. It's
full of aether.
position. It's balancing. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's balancing?
Yeah,
On
man.
what?
It's not even touching the floor.
It's very thin.
Okay. All right.
This has been physics with
That's kind of
juxtaposition.
Anyway.
Sloppy.
God damn it! You can't just use that as a go-to.
Seriously.
Like, it's not a punctuation, okay?
All right.
Yes, you can.
Aniero, I know for a fact that you put all these drops into this system at some point.
Not this one. I stuck this one
God.
in. Once I figured out how and what he does for the drops, I'm just like, I'll just do it myself.
I guess you could say Aniero's getting.
Really?
What the fuck?
Perfect setup.
Are you kidding? I actually set you up for one. You piece of shit.
You're the worst.
Red Mage 0, please check it.
You're the worst.
You mean samurai?
You disgust me.
Don't you even get started with me, Nika. We will have this discussion later. You just keep your mouth shut for now.
Anyway.
Oh, man.
I gotta get a fantasy update.
I just want to remind you guys, patreon.com/limitbreakradio is how this show is supported. I want to thank all of you for your continued support over at patreon.com/limitbreakradio. At the $20 a month level, you guys get the postcards from Eorzea. And if you want it, you got to make sure that you come in at the $20 level. Now, I actually just saw someone who I think they may have edited their larger pledge down to 20 to be able to get qualified in this program. I think we're going to need to. I think we're going to need it's to specify.
Clarify on this one. Yeah,
that's right.
Or they could have. Maybe they're financially hurt, but they really want the card. But just so you are aware, $20 or higher.
That's right.
Gets the postcard.
The postcard.
Are you sure that that's the way we've been administering it?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to make
sure. No. We've definitely been administering it that way. Because, Because we've had a person who's been at $250
don't
forever.
Accuse them of doing that. Maybe they really had a financial trouble.
That's possible. That's possible.
They still wanted the card, so they stopped at 20.
That's possible. Yep. I don't know what the situation was, but I did notice that, and in case there was any point of confusion,
I'm going to give a small hint as to the next postcard that's going out.
Penis.
Besides Escalia, the next postcard that's going out is the worst person on the podcast.
That doesn't tell you anything.
So another Juxta one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what I was going to say. We're going to do Juxta twice?
Hey,
Sloppy.
He's the worst person today, and he's really vying for that bottom spot. You're an asshole.
So remember, $20 over at patreon.com/limitbreakradio. We really do appreciate the support. It's been because of your guys' support that we've been able to do things like Final Encountercast, and Final Encountercast has led to other opportunities like Checkpoint Radio, and it's really because of what you guys do for us on the back end and on the support end. We've made the commitment that this is a show that we're always going to do no matter what. We follow through on that. And then to know that you guys like the stuff so much that you're willing to just give of yourself to make sure that that keeps going and gets better and gets stronger is really great. I absolutely love that aspect of this show. So thank you guys so much.
I am so glad that the postcards are coated in wax so that I can easily wipe them clean. Kappa.
Sloppy. Phrasing.
Stop it.
Ooh.
Here's $1. Mute Aniero, please. #politeness usually wins.
Not on our show.
Wait.
That's not how this works.
Mute Aniero?
That's not.
Here, I'm gonna reach over there. I'm gonna
find
the button.
That's definitely
Where's the button?
No, you're not.
I'm gonna flip some
Yeah. You just try that. You keep trying. You flip
scissors.
You just go ahead and flip some knobs. You just try it.
Flip your knobs, Daddy.
You have an actual knife right here.
Oh yeah, I do have an actual knife right here.
Opted for the scissors over the knife.
That's not a knife. That's a spoon.
Is it?
That was a Simpsons reference.
Oh. Anyway.
Another victory for America.
That has a different connotation now. As of 2 days ago, huh?
Oh, you're not wrong. Again, remember, if you want to join us live, that we are starting at 4 p.m. now here at twitch.tv/limitbreakradio. All right, let's check out what's going on in FF14 news.
This is a limit breaking news update.
Maintenance.
Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm sorry. Before we get into this, Aniero.
What?
I like that you let him play the production, though.
Well, you know what? Look, we had a little discussion on the show last week, and he's not wrong.
Multiple times, in fact, we had this discussion, I feel like.
Yes.
Wait, Aniero's always wrong.
Wait, hang on. What discussion?
You do a lot for the show.
I sure do.
Okay.
He does everything, remember?
I run every aspect of this show.
And I don't think that we give you enough credit. All right? You work full-time now. You also do 3 different shows, basically.
You got 2 jobs!
Oh, no. It's way more than 2.
And the point is, though, you don't get a lot of time off to yourself, right?
Not at all.
We had a discussion amongst all of us, and we want you to have a day off.
Yep.
Right? So we want you to go out, take it easy, we're going to do the show today. You ain't got to worry about a thing, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah. Escalia, if you would go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, wait, hang on. Whoa.
No, he's going to get you all settled out there.
You guys can't run the show without me.
Your voice.
You know that we can. We've done it before very, very well.
You've been talking about
Not
the horse.
with you guys here in the fucking studio running the gear.
There's even more proof that we can do it.
I've given you no.
Guys. And this isn't about us.
Yeah.
It's about you, okay? We want you to have a day of rest and relaxation. Everyone can tell your voice has been a little strained recently.
Your voice is super important to our future, dude. Like, we can't have it.
All the stuff that you do for us, you need to take at least one break, because if you don't and you fail, something happens to you, what happens to the podcast? It all falls apart, right? Right?
It all falls apart if I'm not here.
Aniero.
Look, you're going to be right over in the other room, okay? If we need you, we'll call you, right? But otherwise, go on.
Yeah, no.
Go with us,
come on, dude. I'm going to get you a drink.
Take a load off. Kick your feet up.
We're going to get you a blanket. We'll put on some Netflix. You like Netflix?
And don't frown.
A smile better suits a hero.
It's not wrong.
That's right. That's
you know what?
Right.
I'm voluntarily leaving after that one.
All right.
No, yeah.
I'll go quietly, actually.
And you know what?
I'll relish the time off.
Thank you.
And you should.
For everything you put into this show.
Yeah,
Heroes never die.
We really appreciate all your hard work, just week in and week out. And you're right. Sometimes we don't express it well.
Yeah. So
no, you really don't.
You're right. Today we are.
Today's for you.
All right.
Okay.
It's Daddy Day.
All right. Go on.
You guys get to deal with all the sloppy drops today.
I knew my dollar would pay off.
You know what? Us dealing with the sloppy drops, that's our gift to you.
Yeah.
Sloppy.
See, we've got it.
All right.
We're going to handle this.
Okay.
All right.
Go on. Okay.
Miss me,
Bye.
Daddy.
Enjoy. Hey, get some Oreos or something. You like Oreos.
I like Oreos.
Oreos are great.
They are fantastic.
We're all
Oh, man. Look at Kallo settling in. How's that chair feel?
Come on. Somebody's got to do the engineering. It feels good. Feels good.
You wasted no time moving over into that seat.
That was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
And have you gotten thinner?
Gotten a lot thinner.
Gotten a little.
But you know what? We have a show to do.
Oh.
So let's get to the
Sloppy.
news.
Oh. Let's get sloppy.
Wait a minute. What have we done?
What?
Oh my God. Okay. All right. You know what? That's it.
I'm out.
You know what? I've always thought that Aniero is taking it really easy on us. Okay. I mean, he gets angry. Sure. He yells. Okay. But that never actually really solves anything. So starting right now.
Sickness must be purged.
I am instituting a 3-strike rule.
A 3-strike rule?
Nika.
Are you like those horrible elitist party fighters?
Juxta.
Trump, what are you doing?
Escalia. I almost forgot your name for a minute.
Where's your name on there?
I'm the host. I don't get a 3-strike rule. All right? At 3 strikes,
You're the interim host.
you get muted. Nika, that's a strike.
God.
Okay? That's strike 1 for you, Nika. All right? Behave yourselves.
Bro, you gotta back off now.
Come on, settle down.
Nika's a girl. But yes, you need to back off,
No, I'm talking
Nika.
to you.
I can't even scream if I get muted. That's not fair.
I never thought that the
What?
power would go to your head this quickly.
Yeah.
I thought we'd have a
isn't-
segment.
This isn't about power.
Come on, don't be shitty.
I'm not. I'm trying to keep the show focused so Aniero can see that we can hold this shit down. Do you want to disappoint Aniero? Is that what you want to do?
We disappointed Nero anyway.
Do you want to disappoint him more?
No, I guess.
Okay.
You're right. It's for him.
Do your job.
No,
That's what I'm trying to do.
Start with the do your job.
Do your jobs.
You have a third one, don't you?
I actually got 5.
All right,
Oh,
go ahead,
God.
play him. Number 3.
Okay.
Number 3, go
Juxta
ahead.
doesn't perform under
your job.
4?
under pressure.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
You gonna wait for me to start reading?
No.
Maintenance. All the maintenance. How many fucking maintenances did we have?
We had.
Hold on.
I don't.
You guys have just left Aniero alone in a room with a laptop and 2 hours of free time. Thumbzilla, anyone?
Listen, if there's anyone who deserves 2 hours of whacking it more than Aniero, I don't know him.
He's definitely not whacking it to this anymore, though, because he's not on the show.
And he's not running down the hallway screaming.
Yeah, so
That
we're
is
fine
weird.
right now. We're fine right now. So, yeah, lots and lots and lots of maintenance. I'm not even sure what a lot of them were for.
I mean, I feel like we actually didn't have much more maintenance than we felt like. Like, we had, like, the general hot fixes. We had another emergency maintenance, like always. But then we had an entire like half a day where the entire data center just exploded.
Yeah, it felt like more because Aether crashed.
That could probably
That's what it was for us.
Be part of it. Now that emergency maintenance, I've heard a lot of different stuff, like what it was for. I heard that the reason that our Aether center exploded was because someone was fishing in Bronze Lake.
And that blew up the data center?
Apparently there was some glitch, so they had disabled fishing in Bronze Lake instead of fixing it, and somehow someone was able to figure out how to fish in it anyway, and that
blew up the data center? That's amazing.
What? I have not heard that.
This might just end up becoming like an Aether center, like wives' tale.
No, I love the idea that our whole data center is supported on the fishing mechanics of Bronze Lake. Like, if that goes down, this server's going down.
It's all over at that point. One of the other big things that was going on was party queuing for Done Scathed. Now, anyone who had partied, Nika, you didn't get to experience this, but anybody who had partied with me on reset day, we had a few people from different data centers, and I don't know if it was specifically cross-server parties or if it was just full parties in general.
Okay, no, this is what happened. They changed the algorithm, so if you have a tank in your party, you are treated as though like you are queuing as a tank.
Right.
So basically, if you had a tank in your party, you had like super long queue times.
I mean, even when we did it like
Bronze Lake. If you had seen the size of my rod, you would understand why it crashed the server.
Thank you, Munja Hayadate.
It's a penis joke.
Like,
yes.
Even when I did it recently the other day, though, we had a tank and a healer and a DPS queuing up for it, and it still took a while. And I just did it like yesterday, the day before.
That's the point. It's as if you were queuing as a tank solo.
So did they not fix that?
No, apparently they haven't fixed it yet.
But they're going to be reverting it back to the old queuing method or queuing algorithm.
Yeah, when I queued up as a DPS, instantly in. Like
me too.
Boom.
Last night I queued for Dune Scathe and it said estimated wait time longer than 30 minutes. Insta queue.
Yep.
I'm like,
it's nice.
Sweet,
honestly, I don't see what the problem is. I think it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, I think they should leave it this way. I think like DPS finally get to have some joy in their life.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's cool.
I don't know. This new algorithm is just
Sloppy.
Oh my god.
You know what? I'm going to give you a sloppy every 60 seconds. All right, space them out a little bit. And it's okay.
Thank you.
You're
every
welcome.
60
I love that you have all of those as drops too.
Do you realize that is 180 sloppies for this show?
Doesn't mean he has to use them.
But he will.
At least 60 seconds.
Well, you know what?
He's got the timer up.
You have a timer up? Are you serious?
Of course. There's a clock right there.
All right. You know what? Look, the point is, though, if he does overuse them, I am sitting in the Aniero chair.
Yeah.
How many kazoos do I get?
You don't get any kazoos.
Hey, asshole! You guys suck!
I can make changes to the laws of Limit Break Radio as I see fit. That's what this chair and this big black
That's not
mic.
what an interim host does. You are not the main host. You are an interim host.
Nika, do you know what comes after strike one?
Here he is, Grumpy Bear, Mr. Salty that he didn't get a date to the dance.
That's to you.
Oh, okay, thank you. You know what? For some reason, when I'm sitting in this chair, your drops don't phase me.
That's weird. They
Right?
really phase the guy who usually sits in that
It's like
chair.
they just bounce off of me. I'm like Superman in this chair.
Do you have a steel pussy?
All right, Nika. Nika,
Let's talk about data mining.
square up. Square up. This one's me and you here. All right?
Can we go take a break then?
No. Stay where you are. Nika, you want to go ahead and tell us what has been data mined from patch
Samurai confirmed.
3.5?
Samurai confirmed.
You know what? Why don't you go into it a little bit more instead of being a fangirl about it?
Okay,
All right.
sure. I can actually talk about that. So apparently, because we know that expansions are huge, it only makes sense to start implementing some of the DAT files early.
Yeah, I was in Fairy when that happened the first time, then it happened the next day. Very sloppy Square-Enix.
Thank you, Dark Winter, for the $5.
Not wrong, I guess.
Very
Sloppy.
Square-Enix.
Sloppy. They're always sloppy. Yes, because Square Enix is sloppy. They decided it early. I'm losing my. I'm so excited. I'm losing.
Or
my
maybe it's
speech.
because you don't have any confidence in what you're saying because this is
No, I
fucking
have
ridiculous.
extreme confidence because they just started to put in the DAT files. It makes a lot of sense. Multiple people have DAT mined the files, and they found in the next cutscene files, job cutscene files for every single job, including Red Mage and Samurai.
Oh,
Okay.
come on.
Okay. There's a specific thing that you said that I want you to clarify for me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It is patch 3.5. We still have a whole other side patch before this is finished. And
3.5 part 2.
And then months before the expansion. And you said it makes sense that they've started to put expansion DAT files into the game. How does that make sense? Is it something they've done before?
I feel like they have.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
So when was the last time? So you're saying in patch 2.5 or even 2.55, did we get Heavensward stuff, DAT mined? Did that happen?
Might have, but the thing is we had known all the jobs by a certain point, so we didn't.
But not
need
by
to
this
DAT.
point.
Exactly. It makes zero sense,
It does
even
make
for
sense.
a company as...
God damn it!
No! sloppy as Square-Enix to be like, you know what? Let's put DAT files for an unannounced job for people to find before we even have the European Fan Fest, let alone have finished out this expansion.
Square-Enix knows people DAT mine. They did this on purpose for the hype.
God. Are you fucking kidding me, Nika?
Loves to cause discussion, to cause Reddit threads. Like, Yoshi P acknowledged it during the Japanese Fan Fest 5 seconds after he walked out in the Spider-Man shirt. He's like, there's already a Reddit thread, guys. Like, they do this on purpose.
Then shouldn't you be bullshit? Shouldn't you be more worried then that it isn't actually Samurai?
No, because this is why. I think that if they were trolling us, they wouldn't troll us with the wrong job. What they would do is troll us by only putting in 2 instead of 3. I think it's possible they could add more later and there could be a third job. However, I do not see them ever purposely putting in the wrong job to throw us off the trail.
Did you not stop to think that maybe they're not the ones trolling?
But multiple people have confirmed this.
Name them.
I don't remember, but
you don't remember. So for all you know, it could be the same person with multiple accounts over different places distributing this data, being like, oh yeah, totally data mine this. Or more realistically, maybe those are samples of something.
No, but you have to look at where everything else is on the list. It says Job Warrior, Job Dark Knight, Job Red Mage, Job Sam.
As in sample.
Oh God, Nika Sam hype. Time to drown her like a puppy.
Oh my God!
You got served.
Oh, Miri Kennett, longtime supporter, wants to drown Nika like a puppy.
Why is Miri drowning puppies?
Oh.
More importantly, why are we drowning puppies?
That's what I want to know.
You've never drowned a puppy before?
No!
Oh my God, you guys gotta try it.
You just take it from the Detroit woman and throw a puppy off a bridge.
Putting them into sacks and beating them with shovels, sure, but drowning them, that's like a little inhumane.
No, you just take them by the neck and like put them on their back in the water
God,
and
let's
just
stop. All right, I'm going to start with the kazoo.
To keep herself happy, she starts kazooing.
It's a good threat.
So, Nika, tell me what you think is more likely. I'm going to show you 2 scenarios.
You thought? I don't pay you to think.
Let's say that they actually did decide we're going to put DAT files for the unannounced job into the game, okay? Now, does it make more sense that they would spoil it for us? Or does it make more sense that they would not want to take all of the wind out of their sails for the EU Fan Fest and put in a sample placeholder for that job?
I think that the wind is not out of their sails because they're going to announce a third job at EU Fan Fest. That is my theory.
My only counter to that I would say is if you were putting in a sample job, unless you are doing this to troll, I think you would do like job XXX. Like that's usually like the standard in coding.
Yeah, why would you put Sam, mix them all in with the other jobs?
Unless you're doing it to make Nika cry.
Okay, and you know what? That's
Yoshi
fine.
might be doing it to make Nika cry.
Yoshi doesn't know me specifically. He doesn't know that it would make me cry.
He probably knows us all. He probably
I'm
heard
sure
our
he knows
names.
of us, but I don't think he knows that trolling me with Samurai would make me cry.
No, so this is probably just the universe is aligning. Tell me, if Samurai isn't announced, after this especially, will you cry?
Probably.
Yes. Will you save it for the show?
It depends on when they announce it. If we are doing like a live reaction to the EU Fan Fest, yes. If we watch it not live and then do it later, I'll probably cry multiple.
We'll make sure that it's done live then, even if it's just me and you.
We need to get it.
What? Okay, so what will happen if they do announce Samurai? You're going to respectfully eat your words?
No.
Yeah, I was like, you know him. No, he's not.
Come on.
No, I will rage and I will throw a tantrum and I might break something.
Sloppy.
How much fun Samurai's going to be?
I don't care how much
wait
fun
a minute.
Samurai's going to be.
There it was.
What?
I just heard the Aniero. God damn it.
Oh,
I just heard it.
The transformation has begun.
That was it.
Children, behave.
Never.
These are some nice jobs. Have you had these forever?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of these are Overwatch ones that he's been using.
Yeah, it's
He knows that Kallo won't mute him for using Overwatch drops.
And,
No,
and he's
he knows
actually
his audience.
He's
That's what it
actually
is.
started to space out the sloppies very
where's the
well. He's playing it
sloppy?
safe. Shut up, Nika.
He just
Kallo
did
has
the
a
sloppy a minute
theory,
ago.
and you're not even using it to prove him.
okay. You want? I was just gonna let this go, Nika, but because you told me to do something, that means I have to not do it now. So thank you very much for letting Kallo win.
Yes. Nika, I'll take away that
I mean,
strike
is that
of
also
yours.
why you're not?
Nika, you're down to 1 strike.
No, she's down to 0 strikes.
Oh.
She never got that second strike
Oh.
because I am a merciful lord.
Merciful
But is that why you're
Lord.
not eating, or you're not taking the bait on his like setups for your sloppy?
Merciful lord, yes. How many strikes do you have so far?
0.
Thank you.
You
Sloppy.
need to get working on that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, he's playing it safe too.
He's playing it sloppy.
Sloppy.
God,
Oh,
why-
that wasn't 60 seconds.
Did you just say it and use the drop?
So one of the other big things, which apparently has been going on for a little while, and I assume the emergency maintenance was to fix this thing.
Probably, yep.
But somehow someone was able to use Pomander effects outside of Deep Dungeon?
On Zervan.
Yeah. Well,
And on PvP.
PvP.
They used Pomanders in PvP Feast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
And
the
they
first
witched
time that
people
it happened.
and then turned into a Manticore and killed everyone.
Yes. And then
Which
there's
is really
a,
terrible Pomander use, I
But
must
the
say.
actual video of Zervan is actually them using like a damage down, HP down debuff, which is not actually a Pomander. So I'm not entirely sure which effect or how they're managing to use that, but it's pretty fucking impressive.
yeah, they down him in under
Oh
2
yeah,
minutes.
of course. Nika, the person who exploited Pandemonium
Oh my God,
Warden
I
back
don't
in the
actually
day,
think this is
thinks
right,
an
but I think
exploitable
it's
thing
impressive that
is
somebody
pretty
figured
cool.
this out.
Listen, I'll even say, yeah. It's
Is that number 4?
Yeah, that's it's those quest items that when you do like the Beastman quest and you throw it, like something is like really hard to kill and then you throw it down, or like
Oh, it
or like
weakens
fate,
them.
or the leaf quests, and you have to like use that one that explodes to weaken a mob before you can kill it.
right, the one where you like turn the giant Morble into a little one and stuff like that.
That makes sense. Ooh.
Thankfully, Aniero isn't here for this trash hashtag mute Nika.
Oh, you heard it. Mute Nika. Let me see if I can figure this out.
No, you can't mute me either.
We don't have a mute Nika thing though.
Yeah, there's not a unique thing.
We mute him.
Yeah,
can't
there's only a mute Juxta.
No,
People-
there.
well, I mean, you can mute her,
Yeah.
but it's not a bit on the show.
I know.
Are you creating new bits now?
It's not a bit. We
Am
do
I muted
what
or not? I
our
can't
listeners
tell if-
want us to do.
Oh.
Like we do this for them, don't we?
I thought the whole
Sloppy.
whole premise was we don't do what we want, what our listeners want us to do.
Oh.
We just do what
Yeah.
we want to do.
They did pay $10 though.
$10 is a lot of money.
Okay, well, guess what? They have to pay, I don't know, $20 to do that. If you just give them what they want right off the bat, that's just being...
Sloppy.
Oh my God.
All right. So another $10 and I'll mute Nika, right?
Sloppy.
I said
It has to
$20.
be a $20 donation.
Right,
Well,
but they
10
did
plus
10,
10 is-
10 plus
But
10.
it's not.
money.
But it's
If it's the
not
same
really
person.
fair to mute me though, because at least when you mute Jugs, he can scream into somebody else's.
Ooh.
It actually does make sense that there is code in the game that is for Stormblood. Developers add code to games and other apps while they are working on it, cause if they remove completed code that is for something in the future, it actually could break the game or app. They instead come.
I'll bet
Okay, like, I'm coming?
You're back,
They
Nika.
didn't finish reading it because it was too long.
Yeah, okay. They instead comment out the code.
Oh
or,
my God, look at that fucking paragraph Xanther post.
Or
Yeah.
leave it in
Or
there
leave it
so
in-
it is easy to implement in the future. The actual content is not there, just the code that references it. So really, Samurai could actually be in there. Thank you, Xanther.
But I still
Thank you very
say-
much.
Except they would have the foresight to know that people data mine and would figure that out. Guys,
That's why they did it.
come on. You don't know that. You don't know that.
I think what they're trolling is that they knew we data mine, they knew we'd find Samurai, but they knew we also noticed that there's only 2 new jobs and that they're going to announce a third one at FanFest to blow our minds.
That would be like, that is one thing. Like, if it is Samurai and there isn't a third job, EU FanFest is like, what a hit.
It's going to be
that EU
boring, right?
FanFest
Flop
takes.
penis.
I think they gave us Samurai to blow our minds at the third job. That's the sound theory.
Nika, please just
So
stop.
the way
I mean,
that
come
they,
on. You look ridiculous.
the way they give us Samurai is through an unconfirmed data mined source. That is fucking ridiculous.
No, because they know that people do that. They absolutely do, and they want people to talk.
They don't want...
They do. They
But
said
would
that.
you ever want to...
You know what, Nika? Strike one again.
What?
Strike one again.
She's back up
True,
strike.
though.
Yep.
This is true
Strike one.
facts.
I'm gonna go. Do you guys need
What?
drinks?
You're supposed to be what are you
resting,
doing back in
dude?
here?
Well, but I was gonna go get some drinks. Do you guys want drinks?
No,
Actually, yeah, I need a drink.
I want a drink.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
give me
I still have a full one.
Just halfway, please, because otherwise it gets too warm too quickly.
Okay.
Aniero-
I'm fine, thank you. No, you're
There's no the door's back that way.
Where
What are you
Where are
doing?
you going? What are you doing? Getting?
Oh, that makes
you
sense.
left your phone in here. Okay.
All right, come
That's
on.
fine.
Snappy.
Go rest.
We're trying to do a
Well, you're
podcast.
supposed to be resting, not getting you guys drinks.
You're failing
It's okay.
miserably and being terrible, and I hate you all.
Bye.
Wow,
I don't know if you meant that.
that just really felt
Sloppy.
to me.
Okay. All right. Enough of this sample job stuff. Also in the news, Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood details for the collector's edition, pre-orders, early access, and more. So what kind of goody stuff do we have coming here, guys?
We got a sweet box.
A sweet
Pre-orders
box.
start in 2 days, guys.
No, they actually do list special art box.
Yeah,
Sweet.
all of them have special art
Expertly
boxes.
crafted.
Even FF15 had an expertly crafted special art box.
No, we're not talking about the box. Expertly crafted Xenos Yay Galvis figurine.
I wish that it didn't say
You
expertly
mean the
crafted.
samurai NPC?
Yeah, that's all he is an NPC. Samurais.
Obviously, an art book, which is pretty normal
Standard,
for this
yeah,
type of
yep,
stuff. A logo sticker.
Is that one I could put like on my car or something? Or?
Probably on your computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Computer at least.
This I actually want this next
a
one.
cloth
Yeah.
map of Eorzea. That's pretty sweet. What
That's
do you
actually neat? Oh,
Frame it.
Yeah,
in.
so
also have?
This cloth map is sweet.
Yeah. It looks pretty. No, you know what? That kind of seems a little small. Honestly, actually, kind of looking at it.
Yeah, but we
holding it
could
up.
we could
You
put
just
it.
frame it and hang it on.
We could put it up and finally take down that stupid Kingdom Hearts wall scroll that's been there forever.
No.
Yes.
No, but look, nobody sees it for our show anyway.
They were commenting on it on FEC.
You
today.
Okay, well,
on
FEC
FEC, they actually
works.
commented on it today.
Okay, but FEC is a gaming show. Irrelevant.
Yeah, but we hate Kingdom Hearts.
But this is a game too.
Sildra Mount.
Ooh.
Wind up Bart's minion. Wait, we know about some of this stuff. The chicken knife for
Yeah.
red
Yeah,
mages.
yeah, we
This
knew
is
that
some
was
of
coming.
this at the fan fest. But did
yeah.
they say if this Sildra mount was going to dive or not?
of course it's gonna dive, Nika.
oh,
It's
it better.
gotta, yeah,
and they
it's
said
gotta.
that, yes. But chicken
Okay.
knife weapon for red mage. I bet that little chocobo is the little gem, and it gets stabbed upon
Oh, it
your
totally
sword.
is. Yeah, it's
And you impale it whenever you
no,
use
it goes
it?
on the hilts.
I don't know. I
the
like the
bottom.
impaling the chocobo thing.
No way. It's gonna, all the other red mage ones we've seen go on the end of the pommel of the hilt. Why the heck would the chocobo?
Because
I'm
this
saying-
is for the collector's edition. I have to pay extra, so I get to impale the chocobo.
Oh, guys, really
No.
quick. Xanther gave us a little cheers thing saying that it is for cars because apparently putting stickers on cards is huge in Japan.
On cars.
Yeah.
Cars. Okay.
Yep. Let's see what else we got. We have a wind up red mage minion coming.
Yeah.
Olive
These are
earrings. Yes.
pre-bonus items.
Pre-bonus item, so you have to pre-order it to get these bonus. You get the red mage minion, and you also get Alamegan earrings.
Those look ugly.
Yeah, they do. They're just
Those
giant-
are hideous.
Those
Yeah.
are just nut
Well, let's
sacks.
be real. They've been taken over. They have a rebellion. The only way they can do anything is by making things out of rocks.
Well, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
That looks like a giant rabbit turd.
All right, so we also have an upcoming schedule for the expansion. So January 24th, pre-orders commence. Pre-order redemption website also opens. February 18th and 19th is the EU Fan Festival in Frankfurt. February to be determined, patch 3.55 releases. March to be determined, patch 3.56, which is actually the second half of the Far Edge of Fate Part 2.
Oh my god.
3.55 is not the Far Edge of Fate Part 2. What the heck is
That'll just be
Sloppy.
Skynimus.
the new diet?
Yeah.
The new diadem.
Yeah, yep.
I knew you would say that, but that's okay, so I'll change it to hashtag mute Juxta.
Okay.
What? No.
Can do. All right.
Yes.
That one we've got unlocked. Like,
Yep.
that's no problem.
Yep, that's no problem. And then starting June 16th, early access begins for Stormblood. Tentative. That's
very
tentative.
tentative.
Tentative. That could change.
Yoshi
Will be intense.
Yoshi is so, I think, nervous to put a hard date on this thing.
Yeah. And then June 20th, Stormblood launches. Tentative.
Very tentative.
That could change.
We love the
Most
tense.
tentative of all tentative things.
That could change.
It's
That
a
could definitely
tent.
change. And that wraps it up for the news today, guys. So now we get to get into the real meat and potatoes of today's episode, and that was Patch 3.5. What are our thoughts?
I don't know if I'd say like meat and potatoes, maybe more like a piece of bread and some carrots or something like that.
But what are your feelings on it? Like deep down inside.
Deep down feelings. Okay, let's lay this out right now. How are we doing spoilers? Let's lay this out for us and for them.
That's a good point.
Now, at first, we were thinking, you know what? Fuck it. Spoilers ahoy.
Yeah.
Because it's like 30 minutes. Skylar, you said you finished it in 90 minutes, and that was with a 25-minute queue time.
90 minutes
in the
start to
Balestar's
finish,
wall.
25 minutes queue in the Balestar's wall.
Yep. So, but you know what? We've always put little bits of limits on these, so we're not going to talk about anything spoilery until next week. Okay? So we're going to try to avoid any
next
of the...
week? That's
Next
so
week.
soon, though.
Dude,
Everyone can finish it by next week.
Yeah,
so
I did
fast.
everything.
So you guys can knock it out, and like right during the show, you guys can go do the MSQ and finish it before we're even done talking about the MSQ.
If you can't finish the MSQ by the time the episode comes out next week, you deserve to have it spoiled.
Yeah.
Okay, but Kookie's still doing 3.1 stuff.
Well, she's that so well.
Joke there. Woohoo! That was a good one.
Like so for 1 week, but yeah, I did everything that could have a story spoiler in it in a week or in a day.
Yep. Now, guys, as we talk about this, feel free to call in and give us your thoughts. What did you like about the patch? What didn't you like about the patch? You can do that via Skype. Send a message to Limit Break Radio or 810-515-8715, and also limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We are taking your calls all day long. Just check in there with Miss Kooky Persona, and we'll get you set up. So,
and we want to hear from you. We want to know what you thought of patch 3.5.
That's right.
Hold on.
It's not like Nika or Juxta gives good opinions.
Wait, I have very good opinions.
This is such a weird world where you leave me out of that criticism.
Oh my god.
That's so weird.
That is weird. I feel.
Is he your only ally on the show today?
I don't need allies. I am sitting in Aniero's chair. Watch, I can do whatever I want. Scalia, strike one.
Oh.
See? Boom.
Would you say
You're
that
sitting there to give relief to Aniero, not to have a power trip. Remember
saying,
this. Keep it. You have to keep calm. Remember, this is
Nika,
for Aniero,
strike
not for-
two.
Not
Boom.
for you.
I give it a 10.
would you say that this whole show happens because of you and that you don't need anyone else?
Well,
oh my god.
I just want to point out that as of yesterday, there was no outlines until I woke up in the morning and reminded everyone to fucking get to work on the outlines. And really, you were the only one that did.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. I mean, me too.
Yeah, it was you and me.
But
Oh god.
I did it all
So
too.
then we can also decide now is a good time to give you a break.
Oh my gosh. All right.
No, I'm not moving over there and learning that right now. He's carrying us through this one.
Wait, who
Guys,
thinks
we
it
have
would
more-
be you? Why wouldn't it be Juxta?
We have an important issue
What?
going on right now.
What?
Aniero never brought me my pop.
What, he can't even do that?
resting. He's resting.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
but
guess
now,
what?
now Juxta has no pop.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he actually gave a half-filled pop to
Don't
Aniero.
get your own damn pop, you friggin' man. You don't need no intern. Be a man. Go get it.
You should have.
I'm gonna go.
You should have.
My pop. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
All right.
You
Go.
should have seen.
Go.
Help me.
Get.
Don't.
You should have seen the sassy pose that Juxta struck while you were saying that.
Okay, well, he's gone. We have to try and get
yeah,
through
quickly, we gotta get through as much as we can. All right.
All right, so we're going to start with the MSQ. Super short.
Oh my god, it was so short.
It was. Like we said, you got through it in 90 minutes, counting your queue time. I think there was a total of 5 quests.
5 quests, 1 fight.
One was a dungeon.
And it was a dungeon.
Which, it wasn't bad.
No,
it was a good dungeon. I liked it.
It was thematically good, but it was easy.
It was super
but
easy.
I mean, what dungeon isn't easy, I guess?
That actually goes for a lot of the content that we got in this patch, including Dunscaith. But what I liked most about it, which has always been a heavy criticism, not just of myself, but I think of a lot of people when it comes to dungeons, is they feel like a hallway. You know exactly which way you're going.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Speaking of hallways, Aniero's not in any of ours.
He said he was leaving.
I know.
Okay.
I had to go find my pop myself.
Did he take it
Are
with
you sure
him?
he didn't go to buy one?
Why would he go out and buy a pop for me? Daddy.
Ugh.
Because
Okay, you're forgiven.
Anyway, yes, I thought that it felt like a real base.
It did. It
that
felt
we
like a
were going
military
into.
installation. And we haven't seen something like that since, I think, Castrum Meridianum.
I was gonna say I haven't felt it since Castrum back in 2.8.
Because I remember in that one where we had the thing where we dove down the trash chute and we came out
Right,
another
yeah,
spot.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
we had like the comms tower that
Now,
we
are you
assaulted.
talking specifically about like military installations, or do you just mean in general with any of?
It didn't
the
feel like a linear
dungeons?
base, or it felt like an actual like fortress or a base, not just a
Because
linear set of hallways. to
I
me.
thought that the Ixtal dungeon that we got last patch,
Not Revenant Reap.
Oh my god.
That's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Zelfitol.
Thank you. Good lord.
I thought Zelfitol felt good.
I love
felt
Zelfitol.
sloppy.
It was.
Stop that.
Stop what?
You know what? You haven't earned a single strike yet. You're doing good.
I'm
okay?
doing real good. I'm winning the game.
You are winning the game. Don't mess it up by getting sloppy.
Escalia and Nikard.
Sloppy.
Yes, they are very, very sloppy.
Hey, I laughed at your joke. Can I have a strike back?
Nika, I appreciate that you're learning the game, but you're not allowed to ask.
Maybe if it was a bit more sincere, Nika.
Excuse me, teacher. Nika would like her name erased off of the board because she's being a very
and
good girl.
All the check marks after it.
I'll take one strike off, Nika.
Woohoo!
Oh my gosh, you're catering to terrorists now? Oh my.
You gotta teach them. You gotta teach them. She's learning, okay? You have to reward her when she does something right.
So, without talking about spoilers, I do want to mention this whole sloppy thing because anyone who's done this knows that.
That Cody Fox dropped a bomb.
Yeah, but just that line itself, the very first time I heard it, I stopped mid-fight to start typing to my group to say, we have got to not get hit by that again because I am not listening to this all fight.
And then what happened? What happened when you finally dodged it?
He said it anyway.
Sloppy.
Juxta.
I actually, I remember hearing it, but I never remember it being that big of a deal.
Okay, see, you and Kallo both kind of.
I had my sound off, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
I had my sound on.
And it didn't drive you nuts?
No.
Sloppy.
Because Nika likes it sloppy.
This for me. Was.
Sure.
Oh my god. This for me was not like filthy rats or sickness must be purged, where I laughed every time I heard that. Like that was hysterical to me.
Those are nice catchphrases.
Yeah.
Sickness must be purged. Sickness must be purged.
Yeah.
So good.
But sloppy?
Sloppy.
Look, I never got like how people would cringe when somebody would say the word moist.
Sloppy.
Why do you have to say that word? Moist.
Yeah,
That word doesn't bother me.
I don't
but
get
I know
it.
people that it does.
But sloppy, when he says it, I get it.
It's not good. The way he says it, not just the word sloppy. I don't mind that, but the way he says it is
sloppy.
It's like he's dragging his tongue slowly up your cheek as he says it.
Oh God, you're right.
Sloppy.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, like with one hand he's caressing a cheek, and the other, and he's just licking your other cheek, and you're like, okay.
Like right up your neck onto your cheek to your ear, real slobbery like. Making it nice and moist.
Oh.
Okay, you gotta stop and getting too hard from this.
Best thing about that whole dungeon, the Pugnacks.
The what?
The Pugnacks. The giant dog thing. I want that as a mount.
Oh my God! Right?
I want a golden Pugnacks mount.
The ones that you ride in their mouth.
Yeah.
What?
No. You're thinking of Somal Hard. You're thinking of what were those things? The big, like, fat. What
there
were
were some
they?
things with like big giant mouths, and I was like, these would be cool mounts.
Yeah, they were like covered in moss. They're right at the beginning of Somal Hard.
Like the Ochu things that aren't Ochus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like moss bears or moss.
They're called like Chi-Chis or something.
Yeah.
Chin-Chins.
That's racist.
Somebody
you
in
can't
the
say
chat
that.
help me out.
Micro chews.
Somebody in the chat help us out with those things. But yeah, those things were weirdly, interestingly, terrifyingly awesome. So all right, let's talk about a little bit about Somal then.
Somal, I really enjoyed. And it's the first hard mode dungeon that I think I can say that about. I don't usually like hard mode dungeons. This one, I went through the whole thing without thinking, hey, look, I'm in Somal again. We
decided this was the dungeon of Pokemon starters brought to life.
What?
The first boss was Bulbasaur.
Little bit.
The second one was for Alligator. Let's be real, guys.
Okay.
Kind of a little bit.
Wait a minute.
Little bit.
Hold up.
Little tiny bit. It breaks it. It breaks it with the final boss.
Okay. Now this was that was my only issue.
That could be Cyndaquil.
It's a scorpion.
Yeah,
you're a scorpion.
And literally, its name is Lava Scorpion. This is a level 30 trash mob name, not the final boss of the final dungeon of 3.5.
It's so cool because at first it looks so tiny too. Like we first get in there, they're like, they're like, look at the size of it. Like it seems like such a letdown, but that fight actually gets pretty intense near the end.
It does.
It's a lot of AoE laying down, man.
It is, but like, come on.
You didn't like the last fight then?
I liked it mechanically. I just hated the aesthetic. I hated Lava Scorpion. He's so lame.
There's no way it's called a chinku. That's racist.
That's super racist.
Chincho. Oucho.
I don't know. No, like that. Come on, you didn't see that last boss pop up out of lava and be like, "Wow, creativity was at an all-time high with this one."
We did. I think that's the point, because then when you actually start fighting it and it like gets big and giant and glowing, I thought it was fine.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, did you have any trouble with it at all?
No, nobody like died or anything, but because there's so
By
much
the end,
AoE
though, it was
everywhere.
really intense.
The fight was
kinda
really
scary. I was kinda scared at the end.
God damn it. What was nice about it is as you get near the end, because there's AoE covering so much of the ground, it gives you a feeling of like, tooth and nail. Especially if you don't place the AoEs right, they grow as you go on.
Yeah.
So you might completely separate yourself from someone. Now, as a ninja, obviously I can just over top of it, but lesser jobs have trouble.
Well, and there is like an element of satisfaction when you're left on this like tiny little speck of land and you're like, I'm not even sure if I'm in the hitbox for this, and then you avoid that attack and you're like, never mind, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
And you just go back to attack.
Mm-hmm.
They did have that element of satisfaction to it, I'll give you that.
Juxta, do you have any opinions? You haven't said a single thing yet.
Why should today be any different?
Do you want me to say sloppy?
No, we want to talk about Somal.
Sloppy.
You thought it was
I'd like
sloppy.
you to try and actually contribute to a conversation for once. All right, Aniero isn't here to berate you. He isn't here to tell you you're dumb or that your opinions don't matter. You are a valued part of this team.
You couldn't even get through it.
I tried. I really did. I'm sorry. I tried.
I don't know. Like,
Go touch his dick.
like what did you think about the beginning of that where you're flagging it with Vidolfnir and he's like, I'd go in, but I'm kind of chunky and I can't get in there, so I gotta have you go in.
Usually the problem that I have with the hard mode dungeons is the story or whatever,
or lack thereof,
kind of falls short. Now there wasn't much of one here either, but for some reason I didn't mind that. I mean, he's basically like, look, something's going on, there's earthquakes, blah 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 blah, go find out what's going on for me. And you're like, oh, okay, there's a scorpion, you kill it, our dicks are good now.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of like, hey, this is like the resting place for dragons. Someone's defiling it, and I'm big, I can't go down there.
And it also makes sense going back multiple times, because infestations like that could happen again, right? But when you're going down to like, we're going into the lost city of Amdapor because somebody unleashed some evil with their fucking elemental dolls or whatever, once you put that to rest, it shouldn't be coming back.
Right, Diablo shouldn't be showing up there 1,000 times after that. Yeah, you're right.
So, I don't know, yeah, there's something about Somal that I kind of like.
Yeah, and I guess I look at back at that final fight, and I wouldn't even have the biggest problem with it if they'd have given it a name that wasn't
just a better name.
Just a name, like you remember when
like
you see,
Flame Wanker.
No, when you see like Kushalane, you're like, that's sweet. They didn't call it Hideous Blob Monster
or Nika.
Rude.
What? Thank you.
Very rude. Holy cow.
Kidding, obviously.
So as far as like the hard mode dungeons go, where does this one rank for you?
Oh, I really like Zelphatal because it gave me a nostalgic feeling.
No, the hard mode dungeons.
It was Zelphatal.
The hard mode remakes.
Hard mode.
The hard mode remakes.
Tamtara will always be the best hard mode dungeon.
Tamtara's not bad. I liked
Tamtara narratively.
Tamtara had a great story, and when it first came out too, a lot of the mechanics are pretty unique, and so that one has a pretty strong place in my brain.
Yeah, Nika's got a point, as low as I am to admit it.
It has the strongest story of any hard mode.
I really liked the Palace of the Tonberry Palace.
Wanderer's Palace?
Wanderer's Palace, thank you.
That redo wasn't bad. It did really well at utilizing the old parts while showing us new.
Yeah, that's always been the one, like, can we just agree it's not Pharaoh Sirius?
I was going to say, what about Pharaoh Sirius?
That was my favorite.
The other way in the tower.
Oh, that was your favorite, you monster?
I was just kidding.
Oh.
Everybody knows my stance on it because we have because it has no different color.
Yeah. All right, we're actually going to go to our phone line here. We have Captain Marvelous of the Leviathan server. He has something he'd like to say on the Samurai date. Oh, damn, I wish I would have read that before I announced him.
Welcome.
All right, Captain Marvelous, welcome. How's it going, buddy?
Hey there, I'm going fine. How about you guys?
We're doing well. We got a
Doing
big
pretty
chair
good.
squeak there, but don't
did you fart?
No, that was a chair squeak.
Okay. Just
All right,
curious.
please tell me that you were calling in to refute this idea of Samurai being leaked through DAT files.
I'm sorry I have to go with Nika on
God
this.
damn it, Captain Marvelous! You are not marvelous at all. You are Captain You are demoted. You are now Private Unmarvelous in the LB Army. That is your official title now.
No, I think it.
Put the kazoo down.
Grain of salt because it's unconfirmed right now. But I side with Nika on this for now.
Let me ask you this: do you want Samurai?
Oh hell yeah!
All right, you're biased. You can't be trusted.
Dang it. That's
All right, I actually am curious if there's anyone who didn't really care either way for Samurai, very indifferent, who still also thinks that this is a confirm. I'd be curious. Because I don't think anybody was like, oh my god, Samurai was the worst job, I never want it. I don't think anyone was of that mentality. I think people were of the mentality that, well, I'd rather have Dancer or something new than Samurai. So I want those people, I would be curious how many of those people think that it's a leak.
I mean, I agree with Nika that there's going to be 3 jobs because, I mean, if you introduce Red Mage as a DPS, I mean, you're telling me that they're going to say, oh, we're going to balance the game and we're going to kind of reshuffle the skill system, but then they add another DPS or another 2 DPS and completely screw up the queues?
Yeah, you're right. I can't see that happening at all.
I hope.
Welcome to your future, because that's what's coming.
I don't know. As much as I want to destroy Nika, like on an emotional and psychological level, there is a rather big part of me that thinks that, yeah, they probably are going to have a surprise 3rd job, the same way that we kind of got that surprise look at Ozma Extreme Mode.
Okay.
It could happen. But I don't think this was a leak. I honestly
think... And then they're going to give Samurai a wyvern mount, a wyvern pet.
I think even if Samurai is in the game, I don't think that they would have been stupid enough or trolly enough to put these DAT files.
Hey, where did these DAT files come from then, huh?
Never malice what you can be adequately explained by stupidity.
Never equate to malice.
I mean, we do know that somebody leaked onto Twitter 2 new jobs and then deleted it. If they can be that stupid, they could be this stupid, right?
You have to consider people who are running the social media for these companies aren't actually like in the know for a lot of the stuff. They're just like throwing shit on Twitter and social media.
Okay, but this time we're not talking about Twitter and social media. We're talking about people who actually put data and coding into the game, and I would have to assume that there has to be somebody who looks over that kind of stuff and thinks, no, we can't have Samurai in there yet. Wait until after the EU FanFest at least.
Or just name it something else for now. Like, you know what?
I mean, that's the reason I am taking it with a grain of salt, because it's completely unconfirmed right now. You just see a screenshot. That's the only thing I saw on Reddit, just a screenshot. So I'm like, it could be an elaborate fake.
Put it as Job SPM for Job Spider-Man. That'd be way better.
Job Spider-Man. Peter
Parker.
Parker.
Been freaking out at that. What could it mean?
He delivers pizza in the 2nd movie, so it's just actually another line of culinary quest.
Job.
You got Juxta's attention really fast there.
I was gonna say maybe Juxta would play that one.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your call, Captain Marvelous. Did you want to throw any shout-outs to anybody out there?
Oh, yeah, my friend, my FC from Leviathan, Writers of the Shroud, and my girlfriend on that same server, Lucy and Claire. Hey there.
All right, well, there you go. Thank you again for the call. Once again, that was Private Unmarvelous from the Leviathan data server. And he agrees with Nika, which means you can't take anything that he says seriously.
Wow. Wow.
Man on the hurt here.
Well, you can't say anything. If you can't say something about Kallo, he is biased.
Nuh-uh.
No, you're not biased.
I mean, you say I'm biased towards Sam. You're clearly biased towards anything that will make me sad.
No!
I'm with Nika on that one. I think a bit.
Everything Kallo says at a grain of salt.
So who's done the Scholastic and Hildebrand quest?
I've done Scholastic, but
way
not
behind.
So this is perfect.
I can't really speak.
All right, Nika did Scholastic, not Hildebrand. I did Hildebrand, not Scholastic.
All right, Nika.
I did both.
Really?
Did you?
Yes.
For real?
Yes.
Talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's talk about Scholasticate.
Okay. Well, all right, Scholasticate.
It sucks.
Juxta. Is that all you got? It sucks?
All right, I'll take over.
All right.
Okay. So
good discussion. Let's move on to Hildebrand.
Shut up. The very first Scholastic quest they introduced way back in the day actually set up for a pretty big mystery. They're like, oh shit, a girl's kidnapped. What could be going on? Conspiracy in the Scholastic. And then the way they resolved it was very predictable. I knew from the start who the culprit was, and they're all like, I don't know who it could possibly be. And then when you find out and you find the girl, you don't even get to see her. They're like, okay, let's just do whatever. It's like, it's so stupid. Although you do get the glasses emote, which is really cute.
But that like really sucks compared to something like, remember 2.0 Hildebrand? You actually didn't know who the bad guy was until the very end.
Yeah, like I was able to figure it out pretty quickly, and I was really sad that like it wasn't this big elaborate thing. Like at the very first set of quests, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a murder mystery. This is gonna be sweet, and it was not that at all. So now I'm actually just really wondering what exactly were the point of this Scholastic quest. Like, did they have a different view in mind when they implemented these, and then just left them alone for 3 patches and then said, shit, we should probably finish these and just finish them, because I feel like there was literally no point in them existing.
Oh my god. This is the first time we've seen Scholastic since 3.1, isn't it?
No, last patch.
Yeah.
We got him in 3.4.
Samurai's going to be in this game. You're a delusional twit.
Welcome back. How's your
Aniero.
voice?
Aniero.
Oh, you brought me some food?
This is not you.
Get away! No, don't touch! Don't touch!
This is not
my candy.
This is not you resting. And you know what? I have to question your choice of candy. You have a sore throat,
and you're eating sour candy.
What are you doing?
They're Airhead's extreme sour candy.
And you think that's going to help your throat?
I have no idea.
It's not.
So he went to the store to buy those?
Give the candy to Juxta.
Yes.
He's fat. He needs it.
No.
No, you don't need it? All right, I guess
No,
he
I'm
doesn't
not
need
fat.
it.
Sloppy.
Go sit back down. Go watch Golden Girls or something.
Samurai's dumb, and you're dumb if you think it's going to be in this game.
Are you even trying?
Thank you
Again,
for your
he's also
contribution.
You're welcome.
Can I get my pop?
I think
Why would I have got you pop?
Don't make him talk. That's strike one for you, Juxta. Strike one.
Why would you think that I would have ever gotten you pop? Where'd you find your cup?
Did you actually hide it?
Was it in the bathroom? Was it next to the toilet?
Oh jeez.
Was it?
You guys put that one together.
Where did you find it?
I just thought he was being mean.
Oh my
Is
god.
what you're drinking, does it taste okay?
Have you tasted it yet?
Or does it taste like piss?
It kind of tastes
sloppy.
God damn it. All right.
Where
so
were we? Scholasticate.
Scholasticate. Pretty sucky. I mean, that's kind of been how we felt overall about both Hildebrand and Scholasticate. Neither of them.
Hildebrand's story is really cute and kind of endearing. This feels like really shoehorned, and I don't really understand the point of it.
Here's the problem. They're talking about like gods and like religion and shit, and that's super boring. Everyone was in the same outfit, and all their names were stupid like Frenchy names that I can't pronounce and even read. So I couldn't care about any of these people.
I think that Juxta hit on the biggest point last episode when he said that the reason that Hildebrand feels like a failure is because he's not really Hildebrand. He's not solving anything. It's like some company got a hold of a main IP and thought that alone would sell it, but the game feels nothing like what it should be.
To be fair,
I think they should have taken Hildebrand, put him instead of Breredan in the Scholasticate, and that way the kind of story they were going for would have turned into something really funny because Hildebrand would have been in it. But instead, we have Hildebrand becoming a father to a puppet and Breredan solving a mystery that wasn't really that hard to solve at all.
And to be fair, does Hildebrand actually ever solve anything?
Yes, he's
usually
a very good inquirer.
He stumbles into things, and usually we solve things.
All right, we're actually going to go back to our phone lines here as we get into Dunscaith, a.k.a. Dung Skype. Here on the line with us is Malkyria of the Sargentanus server. Mal, are you there?
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
She waits till Aniero's not here to call in. You notice that?
No, I actually didn't do that on purpose. I actually forgot that Kallo was hosting this time around.
Are you listening to the show?
Yes.
Then how did you forget that I'm hosting the show?
Yeah, it's hard to miss.
Dude.
All right, so you want to talk about your 3.5 impressions, Dung Skype, and one non-spoilery comment. So tell us, what did you think about 3.5?
3.5 for someone who came back after like a 2-month break from the game. It's not too overwhelming, so to speak. Like there wasn't a lot going on as far as the story goes, aside like the stuff that we already knew about. The fight, the 24-man raid that we got this patch is probably in my opinion, it's the best 24-man raid that we've gotten this time around.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, on difficulty 1 to 10, where would you place Dung Skype?
Dunskype would probably be second to the two, as far as, yeah, it's the second to the hardest 24-man raid that we've had.
All right, so what do you think the hardest one was?
Behind Mock.
Behind Makai?
Behind Mock, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I guess my question then is, what makes Dung Skype better than the Weeping City of Makak?
Okay. Well, in my personal opinion, the overall aesthetic for Dunskythe was just generally pleasing. Like it had a Bloodborne aesthetic to it that I really liked. They had the moon backdrop, and it was just gorgeous.
She likes the Kingdom Hearts vibe.
You know what? I will give you that there were a few views that were very Kingdom Heartish, and I thought looked really cool. But I mean, look, take the giant dong plane that we're on at the beginning, right? It's literally a giant cock. All right, let's be honest.
It's a penis plane.
We're flying in a penis. It's got two big white balls on the side. It's a penis.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was kind of.
It was all advertising for Kingdom Hearts 2.8, which comes out on Tuesday.
It was all very uninspired. I feel the penis plane, and even when you get into the city, there's like all these explosions and stuff going on. Were we bombarding the city? Was that part of the plan?
It was. Yeah, I kind of felt like it was coming apart all of a sudden. That was very. Weird.
There's something about it that didn't really connect with me.
That said, like the penis plane, I don't think was any worse than like the random like. The intro area for Weeping City, like where it's just kind of like the rocky faces with the creatures coming out of the lakes. It's like, whatever.
That makes sense. You're going into a city that's been out in the wild, unexplored for so long. It makes sense that wild creatures would have made it their home.
I agree with what Trade Poetic said. I actually called that out in the chat too when I was doing it, that it felt like a darker Alice in Wonderland type of vibe when you first started it.
Okay.
I kind of felt that when you first come into the town
as well.
I'm going to agree with you, Malkyria. I thought overall I liked Dunskythe more than I liked Macaque, but Ozma was far and away the best fight in the whole of the run. But I thought overall when you could take the 4 bosses, I thought Dunskythe had more fun boss fights if you take all 4 of them.
Yeah, and like with Dunskythe, like it's one thing to like one boss in a 24-man raid, but it was just Dunskythe had me going with like all the bosses. Even the first one that we got, like, I was just sitting here like, okay, all right, this is cool.
Anyone else appreciate how little trash there was in Dunskythe? Yeah. That was so good.
Yes,
Malkyria, let me ask you this: did you feel like the bosses were easier or had lower health pools compared to the Weeping City?
I don't really have much of an opinion as far as that goes, but like as far as like their mechanics go, I felt that Dunskythe had more troll mechanics than fucking Mach did.
I would agree with what you said, Kallo. I think except for the first boss, I think the health pools definitely felt smaller.
Even the first boss?
But the mechanics, like, I mean, when I went through mine, we wiped twice. We wiped once on that, like, the chick before you get to the end, and then we wiped once on the final form of the boss.
Let me ask you this: is it that the health pools are smaller, or that there's less time where you're not allowed to attack? Because both Void Ark and Macaque have lots of time where you're not allowed to attack, and Dunskythe did not have a ton of that.
That very well could be too. I just thought that all the bosses, except for the final form of the last boss, was super easy.
I didn't wipe it all in the one run that I did of it, and to me, I personally felt like the bosses were super uninspired, especially the last boss, where it's just, the last boss plus Diabolos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It has all the same mechanics.
They fucking put DBZ in Final Fantasy
Okay,
14.
congratulations. That's one mechanic.
Let's be real.
Yeah, Gohan versus Cell, the final push.
And really, it's not even a new mechanic. It's just aesthetics.
Right.
The mechanic is still just a DPS check.
Which, granted, is really nice and cool looking, but take that away. What have you got?
DPS check.
No. I mean, if you just take that whole like little segment away, what is the last boss?
Diabolos?
It's Diabolos and the queen person.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's super fucking lazy.
But combined into one, which was kind of cool.
But it's still the same mechanics and shit. And then the second boss is just Ferdinand with updated graphics or updated mechanics.
But I did enjoy his mechanic with dropping all the pools on the ground that you can flip back and forth. Like watching groups struggle on that was fun.
I
thought it put a real closure to both of the stories, like to Ferdinand's story and to Diablos' story, have the same boss that we fought so many times and we're so sick of their fucking faces, but then to fight them again with the same mechanics but upgraded. I thought they did it really, really well. It actually felt like we were doing hard mode of those bosses, which I really like.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to keep in mind. This is the 24-man, so it does have to be easy mode.
And I
thought that it really felt like a rematch with the boss. They've learned a little bit, we've learned a little bit, let's fight them again. Like, I feel like if we fought Ferdinand and he had a whole new slew of mechanics, it wouldn't even be like we were fighting the same character. And this way we know, Ferdinand has had an actual active role in what Diabolos has been plotting. And I feel like to actually fight him again really feels like a rematch, and I like that.
I like it too, because do you remember the first time we fought Diabolos? What a freaking waste of Diabolos that was.
It really was.
Like I remember when I first saw him appear in that dungeon, I'm like, already? I'm already fighting him? Okay.
I was going to say, like, I actually had a lot of friends who basically said that Diabolos was this big bad in previous Final Fantasy games, and here he is reduced to a dungeon boss. Like, really? He could have been like, I don't know, like a primal.
But now
or
when you look back on it, though, there was the lore for him being there. Now to the lore of him being where he is now is actually one of my favorite lore stories of the entire game. Is all of this whole Weeping City stuff with Osmond, all that is one of my favorite lore stories.
Mm-hmm. So, Malkyria, you mentioned that there's one comment that you wanted to make specifically that's apparently non-spoilery. Is this some type of like big revelation?
I'd hope it's not spoilery, but like, it during that scene, like after the fight. I just have to ask, why did it have to sound so
sloppy?
God.
Oh, good. Oh, good. You can hear that too?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear it. God.
Why did it feel so what?
Why did it sound so... When that happened, why did it sound so, for lack of better words, meaty? Like,
meaty?
Yeah. When the thing happened to the dude.
Hey, which are we talking about on Skype?
No. We're talking about
the
after wall. Back to the MSQ. Oh, do you mean when things came
Oh, I see what you're saying.
When everything came crashing down?
I decided that we were no longer playing Final Fantasy during that point in time. We had left Final Fantasy, we were playing a different game, fucked with all of our heads, and then they brought us back into Final Fantasy.
That was just so like ugh.
Dark.
I actually got.
It was dark.
Got,
it was
like,
dark. It was dark.
When that happened.
It was a great return to form on. See, something that Yoshi said way at the beginning, like when A Realm Reborn first launched, that I had always attached onto was that he wanted to help the online, an incarnation of Final Fantasy return to its dark roots, which we all thought happened with the Sultana, but psych. And this actually finally gives me hope that maybe they might actually be starting to follow through with that.
Well, and we talked about when we were doing our predictions for 3.5 that we're going to have to see some event happen that's going to push us towards the eventual confrontation with the Guardians, and we got that in spades this time around.
We didn't have anything from Nero, right? In this thing?
No, we did not see Nero.
Yeah, he comes at some point, so I guess we're going to have to see him in 3.56.
Thanks.
This is so dumb.
Super dumb.
It's dumb.
Super dumb. All right,
guys, don't frown. It'll be okay.
Go ahead.
Smile better suits a hero.
Who said that?
We're all heroes.
Okay, thank you, Malkyria.
yeah.
Thank you for the call. It's always a pleasure hearing from you. Once again, if you want to call the show, Limit Break Radio on Skype or 810-515-8715. You can also call in via Discord, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Kooky, the firewall persona, is there waiting to take your call, so get a hold of her. So,
real quick, I wanted to go back because we finished up on Scholastic, but we really didn't touch on Hildebrand.
Okay, fair enough.
Hildebrand this go around was like overall just horribly disappointing. It really felt.
That's the next thing I want to.
It really felt like they looked at Hildebrand 2.0 and said, "Hey, what were the funniest jokes? Okay, now we're going to make an entire story of those."
Can you compare this patch of Hildebrand though to previous Heavensward patches? How does this one compare?
It's no better.
Like, I'm very disappointed we don't have trials in Hildebrand like we did last time. We got 3 last time.
This time you don't even have a fight.
But I do like the story. I think it's very cute. And I think the last patch of Hildebrand was the best one.
This was interesting for me because I logged in to start doing Hildebrand and I couldn't start the quest. I was like, okay, what the heck? I had forgotten to do the last run of Hildebrand. That's how much of an impact it had on me.
I'm pretty sure I'm still on the first Hildebrand.
So I went to the.
I mean, because let's be real though. Now, if anyone who does Hildebrand has permanent graffiti in their Idleshire. So.
They do. So I went and did the last one and then this one right into it, and I don't know, man. It's bad. It's not. It doesn't reach a satisfying conclusion at all, really.
Yeah, that's
But don't
sad.
worry, he'll be back in Stormblood.
They're saying that now.
Soft confirmed.
But then
Soft confirmed.
Stormblood's gonna come around and they're gonna be like, "What? You want Hildebrand? Yeah, we had no plans to put Hildebrand in Stormblood."
That's interesting because your last cutscene says otherwise. No, Stormblood. He's soft confirmed. He'll be there.
It says Hildebrand will return ellipsis question mark.
No, before that. In the scene after,
where he says flying off,
where he's flying off,
or whatever.
Where it's like, the winds pull me eastward. Like, oh really? Do they?
Oh,
okay,
that's obvious.
All right, we'll see you in Stormblood, Hildy.
Okay, well, look, the point is like, the problem with Hildebrand in Heaven's Word is that he wasn't going around being an inspector, being Hildebrand.
He was a dad.
He was trying to. They were just trying to make him into a different character, but keep all of his wacky hijinks and
That's
stuff.
terrible.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna have, looks like Seer is gonna be like next expansions, maybe Briardian. I don't know.
I hated Briardian. I've never liked that character. He was so terrible.
Oh, really? He was actually better in Scholastica than he was in the original Hildebrand.
And
Oh my God, no. Okay, Briardian was good in 2.0 because he was the straight.
He was a
kind of
foil
like
to Hildebrand.
Exactly. And
Yes.
when you take away Hildebrand as the foil, as the comic relief, he's just
He just becomes
serious.
a normal person.
But that said, I
you're
really
right.
liked what they did with Seer, where Seer was like, and rather than being a direct foil like Briardian was, he was just kind of witnessing the madness, and like even your character, like Seer is who you were in 2.0. You were the one witnessing the
Yes,
insanity.
which I do think that is pretty funny.
Which that's a fun dynamic because now like he looks at you and you're just like, this is what happens. Just go with it, man.
Seer would have been
This
a
is
lot
normal.
better if he just if they would have just dropped the whole heretic thing from like the second or third patch. Like just kill that off.
Especially
he got
because-
so much better in this one.
Yeah, plus the fact that we've finished up like all the storyline with the heretics and stuff, the fact that we now have someone here who's going, heretics.
Yeah,
You're
it's like,
dude.
come on.
But to be fair, this patch they paint like that view of like looking of the Inquisitor. They paint it as ridiculous. Like they kind of show that.
Okay,
So
all right.
they did well with that. There were good things in this Hildebrand patch, but overall it just felt like more of the rest of Hildebrand.
All right, well, we're going to go back to our phone lines, and we have Crimson Tinted of Balmung. How's it going, Crimson?
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing good. What do you want to talk about today, buddy?
So, leading up to 3.5, I did have a concern about, people seeing that a lot of the content had a large similarity to content we've seen in the past. I was worried that the relic would be too derivative and too like ARR.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Crimson, real quick, what's your opinion on mechanical keyboards? Just out of sheer curiosity.
Oh, my bad.
No worries, keep going.
Sorry. I love them. Anyway, moving on.
Obviously.
All right. So the situation that we're in now, I think, is interesting because there are people that I feel like are judging the game based on their standards and experiences from A Realm Reborn, who've been around a while.
Uh-huh.
And I've run into a lot more people lately since 3.5 that weren't around in ARR, but were around in Heavensward, and I feel like they have a very different opinion than us ARR vets. So what it got me thinking is, I wonder how many people fit into that boat who we weren't here for A Realm Reborn, came in at Heavensward, and this is not such a repetitive grind for them. Like, it's got to be some percentage, I would think.
That's interesting. That's something that I think we've never really talked about before. Never really, I guess, kind of contemplated.
We do know that there was a large influx of players at Heavensward who would not have experienced A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
But they would have had to go back to play A Realm Reborn and gotten to experience it. That's just not as it came, but they wouldn't get it as the patches came.
Well, no, what they would have
they
done
also made things easier, and it wasn't as big of a grind.
going through it, they wouldn't have done stuff like the relic or repeated things over and over and over again.
Crystal Tower more than once.
They wouldn't have had to span the same dungeons that we had.
They would just go through the storyline. So Crimson is 100% right. Going through Heavensward, they're not going to be like, we're only getting 2 dungeons this time. I remember back in the day when we got 3 dungeons. It wouldn't be like, oh great, the Anima is just the relic all over
For that,
again.
They did one dungeon. They did every dungeon once, probably the ones they had to do for the story, and then if they felt like it, did the side.
Yeah. So what, are we spoiled?
And you know what else is interesting though? Aniero is always going on about how Square Enix needs to cater to their long-standing players, right? Stop trying to come up with new things or ways to bring in new people. But if you just look at people who came in for Heavensward that don't have the same jaded look of the repetition as we do, there might actually be some people out there who look at this new stuff and think, oh yeah, that is cool, and they're not exactly. I mean, if they've been playing all expansion long, I'd say that they've earned their spot as like a player, right? They're not like newbies anymore at that point, are they?
No. I think if you came in at Heavensward and you're now level 60 and you've done a raid attempt or something like that, yeah, you're there.
That is interesting. I never thought to think about that, Crimson.
Oh man, now I gotta meet someone who falls into this boat and find out what they think of it. Because now I'm gonna be super curious going into Stormblood what they think of it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Can you imagine if Stormblood is more like a Realm Reborn and it's like way better? Like Heavensward's players are gonna be like their brains are gonna melt out of their ears,
or they're gonna hate it.
It's gonna be the same thing. ARR and Heavensward people are gonna be like, oh my god, it's more of the same stuff. And then everybody who came in with the jumping potion is gonna be like, no, it's fine. This is fun.
Ugh.
Can you do that voice again?
It's just going to keep repeating over and over and over again. That was my Nika voice.
That was a terrible Nika voice. That wasn't British enough.
I don't know the percentages of who's going to fall on which side, but I do feel like that's going to be one of the main dynamics that shows up in the community between now and Stormblood is, what do people think that have been playing 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Because we're at that point, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I think at 3.5, it's kind of safe to have that discussion about how your view is influenced by when you came in. If you're out there and you came into it at Heavensward, give us a call. I'd be curious to know what you think of the patch cycles that we've seen.
Yeah, we'd like to talk to you. All right, well, thank you, Crimson Tinted. Did you want to give any shout-outs to anybody while you're here?
None that I don't normally give. Just my free companies, Magitate Mayhem on the Gilgamesh server and the Average Joes on the Balmung server for making the game enjoyable during this pre-expansion lull.
All right. You're very welcome. Thank you, Crimson Tinted of Bull Dung. We appreciate your call. If you want to give us a call, tell us what you think of 3.5. That is Limit Break Radio on Skype or 810-515-8715, as well as limitbreakradio.com/Discord. The firewall will sort you out. So next on our list, guys, is something that I didn't really enjoy. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really enjoy it up till now. It was just like, oh yeah, something else I got to do.
Warring Triad.
Yeah, Zervan, the Warring Triad. Usually I wait till pretty late in the game to jump in and do the easy mode. I haven't tried the extreme mode yet, obviously. But the story was really good. I really enjoyed the story there. There were some...
In the last part?
There was some, like, what moments,
there was a lot of what moments.
Yeah.
So who wants to start?
Yeah. Where do we even go with this?
We're trying probably not to spoil till next week, right?
All right, let's do this. As far as the spoilers go, let's not talk about if anybody bites it. But I think what we kind of have to talk about is the fact that there is a team up that happens.
Yeah, and I think that's safe because that's actually before the fight happens that you get that cutscene. So I think so. If you want zero spoilers on Zervan, tune out now.
And then
otherwise,
go just watch the beginning cutscenes before the fight. It'll take like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And but we're going to talk a little bit about what happens before you fight Zervan.
So you show up to Zervan, right? And he's the last of the Warring Triad. He's breaking free. And just like all the other ones, we're going to try and put him down before he wakes up. But, spoilers, he wakes up.
Sloppy!
And the Garleans are also trying to stop him.
Yes. And... that's not necessarily...
But do we know if this is all the Garleans or just him and his personal agenda?
It's just his...
it's regular in his legion.
His legion. That's what I'm looking for.
He's taking it upon himself to do this, right?
And it's only like his volunteers, right?
It's not his conscripted army. I believe it is his volunteer unit.
These people are all there of their own accord.
Okay. Now, something else that I want everyone to keep in mind, too, is we recently... I forget if it was at this or someone who pointed out to us, though, but whenever we have a storyline that's ripped straight from another Final Fantasy. For example, this one came from was Final Fantasy.
So this was on Happy's
4 or 6.
Warring Triad was 6, right?
6. Okay, and so this is the 6th Legion, right?
Yep.
So this kind of wipes like the way that this ends up going. Like we're probably done with the 6th Legion now, and the Warring Triad's done too. So I feel like going forward, that's something. if that's an intentional thing that they're doing, is the Legion's number corresponds with the Final Fantasy that it comes from, I feel like we can probably realistically know that when that storyline ends, that's the end of the storyline for that Legion.
Oh, interesting.
You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now I want to go back and look up all the other Legions.
I just kind of assumed that would be the case. Because otherwise we wouldn't need so many Legions.
Yeah, so we team up with Regulus.
Right.
He's basically going to help us, basically, okay, Zervan's coming up, and
he recognizes that, you know what, you guys have the power to not be enslaved, not to be enthralled.
Not be tempered.
Exactly. So I need your help. I'm not happy about it.
And Yashtil and Thancred are like, yeah, no. And
I think rightfully so.
Of course.
Rightfully so. They're first kind of like how about not?
Even me as an outside player, I'm like, what? Nah. This is a double cross.
Didn't I just spend 2.0 dealing with you assholes? Like, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
Okay, but we have a bigger threat at hand right now. We have to take care of this warring triad.
Okay.
We team up as a matter of pragmatism.
But how was this guy...
As what?
Pragmatism.
Pragmatism?
Pregerstism.
No, that's what happens to Nika when she's not here. She gets preggers.
Oh.
Every time I'm not here.
Every time she's not here.
Congratulations.
Okay,
Nika.
so how come they didn't want to team up with us during Sophia or during Sephiroth? Both of them were just as dangerous as what Zervan was, were they not?
I would think so. Yeah, you're right. That
they
is
didn't
kind
find
of...
him in time, though.
I'm pretty sure that we actually had to kill a few of them who got in our way during both of those.
I think after Sophia, I think Regula is a unique character because I think he can be redeemed, and I think he has this inner thing in him that's like, I'm not like, after Sophia happened, I think he's kind of at the point where he's like, I'm not really sure this is the best idea, so I'm going to take people who agree with me and go try to stop it as soon as possible.
Now, I remember what it is. It's early on in the cutscenes with him where he says that he's now discovered that the technology here is not suitable to bring before his emperor. The technology, and that's what he wanted during Sephiroth and Sophia. He wanted the technology that Alex had to contain these icons.
So he opened the other ones to get the technology.
And now he's discovered that the tech doesn't work or isn't good enough for what they want to do.
Interesting.
So now he said, all right, well, here's the problem. Zervan's still waking up, and that's still going to be a problem for us.
Okay, that's interesting. The conclusion to this, though, not just when you beat Zervan, but even this first cutscene that happens, which you go watch right now or after the show, was probably honestly one of my favorite parts of this patch. And it's this really bittersweet feeling because I actually start to care about his storyline and get into it.
And it's over.
As it ends. Yeah.
I came out of this story feeling like...
I have a very different opinion, but I'm going to save it for next week.
Yeah, I came out of this story just feeling like I didn't get any of the resolution that I wanted. Like all the questions the questions that I really had going into this last patch did not get answered, and I hope they will get answered in the near future. But I probably not till Stormblood now, since they didn't get answered here. It's probably not going to be until Stormblood. That last cutscene for me was so disappointing.
Here's because he wasn't Vaughn?
Oh my god, yeah, spoilers, he isn't Vaughn. Thank God. We wouldn't have been able to keep Aniero out of here. There's no way.
All right, here's the problem I have with the whole Warring Triad saga, is that basically what happened here...
Trilogy, they were a trilogy. There's only three of them.
What happened here was...
3 bosses, but there were 4 patches of updates. We had a solo trial for Warring Triad as well.
Oh, yeah.
What happened here was the same thing that happened.
Yeah, but I'd still just call it a trilogy because.
And the.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Juxta.
And what happened with Alexander is that everything would just build up until the very final patch, and then you get literally all of your resolution, all of your story, and then it's done.
Yeah, that did suck.
I do feel you there. That most of the story came at the very end. And then all of a sudden we're like, wait, we want more, and we're like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they would have been giving us hints to that throughout the story.
Did anyone else feel like that team up, while I'm not fundamentally opposed to the team up with the Garleans, the timing of it is so weird as Essie is now trying to gear us up for the Garleans to be our antagonist again.
I think they did that on purpose because we're starting to see them now as maybe human.
Yes.
And now we have to fight them.
But this is coming off the heels of Yoshi saying that Xenos is going to be a freaking monster.
Yeah, because I agree, sort of, Nika, that it does set up a nice angle to also show the Garleans as humans. But if they were going to do that,
I don't think Xenos is redeemable at all.
Well, no. But I think if they wanted to do that and kind of set them up to be a little bit more human, that they would have done it in a way that we knew that we were going to see more of them during the Alamegan storyline. Which, I mean, they could always obviously bring new people in. I mean, we have Lucia.
Right.
From Heaven's Ward. We could also we know that Aniero comes back in.
Yeah, he'll be here.
We also know that
fashion.
Sid is from Garlemald.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt very weird that in the build up to the next expansion where the Garleans will be our full on antagonist, we have Regula preaching to us that, hey, I've lost comrades at your guys' hands too. Hey, we have we have similar goals. We just have our own ideals. I'm putting those aside to ask for your help. And he's kind of like shaming you almost, and you're like,
yeah, no, he totally is.
This is so weird since I'm about to have to treat you guys as the enemy.
Killed your sale, but that's besides the point. I wanted to punch him in the face when he said that.
Okay, well, your character doesn't know that.
That's fair. That's true. I guess but at some point when you're doing the story, you have to think of it in a meta sense of where you're taking that story eventually. And for this, if my character, all they had to do was have Regula. As soon as your goals were met, Regula's back to his own agenda. Mm-hmm. That's all that had to happen for you to be like, all right, you know what, we got it done, but screw these guys.
You know what I feel like is missing from story like this though is, one thing I really loved about FF11 is that if you were teaming up with an NPC, you actually teamed up with the NPC.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see Regula fighting alongside with us in this fight.
And that's something that
I think that would have been so cool.
That's something they did a lot in the original Heaven's Ward expansion story, but we haven't gotten a lot of it.
Yeah, we have a couple fights like in Tantara and with Estinian and Dragon's Area where if the NPC dies, you lose, but they don't actually help you at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want them fighting with us and doing damage, and that way they can maybe put the HP pool a little bit higher just to have the NPC fight with us, and I think that would be really cool.
I guess, but if they are fighting with us, that's super hard to do in an instance. You can do
especially with other people in the instance.
Yeah,
with you.
you can do that. When we saw it throughout Heaven's Ward, we saw it where you'd go to the little area and there'd be the little purple circle. You'd go in and and you're gonna fight with this person now. You didn't usually see it in. I guess you'd see it in duties sometimes.
All right. One last question on the Zervon stuff. Do you guys think that Ukulele is one of the Scions now?
They said
yes.
Because literally at the end, I feel like they're welcome aboard.
They actually said welcome to the Scions.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'd say he's a Scion.
So you think going up through Stormblood, he's going to be a main character
he's gonna be a main character.
Because
yeah,
check it out. This wasn't even part of the MSQ. It's completely, totally optional.
It lends credence to the idea that you will have to do this at some point.
You might have to do all the normal modes for the Stormblood story.
Or if you don't, you're going to be super confused when all of a sudden,
why is there this random kid in
a white mask, and you're just like, what?
All right, didn't he go back with what's his face, Urianger?
No.
I
think he stayed in the solar.
Okay, well here's my prediction.
Obviously he has to stay in the solar because he still has extreme quests and stuff like that.
Here's my prediction. He's gonna just stay in the solar the whole time. He's not gonna be in any real cutscenes. He's just gonna be the Warring Triad-esque quest giver from now on.
So he's part of the Scions, but he's basically like Urianger is. He's never going to do anything.
He's not doing shit.
Nah, that's very possible.
That would be a bummer.
All right, going to our phone lines, we now have Patchkin of Mateus, who's going to tell us about his perspective as someone who joined up in Heaven's Word. Patchkin, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. What do you got to say for us, man?
So coming from the perspective, I know you guys are talking about new players, what you guys think, new players think coming in. I kind of got in during 2.5 leading in the Heaven's Sword, so I kind of have a different perspective as far as the content coming in.
Okay.
So I think the content so far has been really good. I mean, especially with the Garo event going on, PvP seems really fun to get into. I didn't touch PvP prior to this Garo event, so it's I don't know. I feel like the community is doing pretty good as far as that, at least in my server. So I don't know how it is in the other servers.
Have you had any moments where you've burnt out on the game in between patches and walked away, or have you been playing full steam since the launch of Heaven's Ward?
Oh no, I got out of it for maybe 3 months, but that was just life stuff coming up.
Oh, so not because of burnout with the game, just because you had to take some time away?
Yeah, basically.
So let me ask you this: when you get a patch. And I think 3.5 is a really bad example because 3.5 was tiny. 3.4, let's say. Do you feel satisfied with the amount of content that comes out in that patch? Usually, is that enough for you?
Well, because I'm still working through the in-game content, So I think I'm like, as far as like content I'm getting to, is like maybe around 3.2, 3.3.
Okay.
So I've only done the Alexander raid like A1 through A8. So.
Yeah. Also should be noted too that Patchkins hasn't finished the MSQ yet either. So he's.
Okay. Well, then you got a lot to do still.
Spoilers.
But then that also goes to show that casual players who play at that came in at Heaven's Ward, he only took 3 months, which is one patch only, and he's that far behind in content, which means for a casual player that has life, it still takes a while to get through all the content. It probably feels pretty hefty with content, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, wow. It's like, I guess it's hard for us to put like ourselves in those shoes because we do this show, we have to play, and like there's no downtime when we do Limit Break Radio.
Yeah, there's actually people out there who are playing and adulting.
But we always have to be at least somewhat engaged with the game.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just for us, it's hard to put ourselves in that frame of reference of like.
Well, okay. What about this perspective then, right? So if there's some casual people out there, right, who aren't blowing through the content, super quickly, so they feel like they have plenty to chew on, right? There's plenty of stuff for them to do at any given time. Why then would Square-Enix? They wouldn't need to come out with new events to try and please new players, because in some cases those new players aren't even getting to that new stuff anyhow. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're saying, why would they create low-level content if the low-level players haven't gotten through the content that's already there?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of it. Is they try to introduce a mixture of low-level and high-level content usually. But you're right. If the newer players haven't burned through all the content that's there, wouldn't it make more sense to focus your development dollars on the people who have? I don't know.
Tricky questions. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Patchkin?
Oh yeah, actually, adding on to that, I will say that like every time a patch did roll out while I was still making my way through the content, it just seemed like, well, man, I already have a lot of content to get through, and now you guys just kind of moved the goalposts. It's kind of hard for like a casual player like me, someone who just plays anytime I have a free time, like to get through all of that to see all the cool stuff at the end. Like, I just recently started doing Alexander, and I think you guys have had that since 3.1 or 2 or something
since
like that.
last. Yeah, well, since what? August of the first year that Heaven's Ward was out? It was a long time,
Long time, yeah. But that's interesting that we sit here and we complain that we don't have enough content, and they're putting out this content for, that seems like it's catering to pulling new players into it. And then we have players like Patchkin, who's a little bit more casual, feels like he has too much content to get through.
Yeah. Huh. Well, do you remember, we used to talk about this a lot in 2.0. Whenever there was a major patch coming out, we usually praised SE because the patch always seemed to come right when we were starting to burn out, right when we were starting to be like, oh,
it was
my
a perfect timing.
It was always like within maybe a week or two you might be off, but it was always right around that time where you're starting like, all right, I don't have much drive to play anymore. Here's the new patch. And I feel like they had that balance going really well, and then we had that long delay between 3 and 3.1. And ever since then, God. we got so much done leading up in that delay time, where when 3.1 hit, we were ready to just go. Yeah. And that's kind of been the trend ever since then. Is now we're always feel a little ahead almost. Like we have 3.5 come out, and I'm pretty much ready to go. I don't have any eye level increase needed at any point. You can just get in, go do all the content, and you're kind of ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe just that long delay. Maybe we're still feeling the effects of that over a year later. And if that is the case, that's something that they can fix at Stormblood. Something that they like when we get the big infusion of content with the expansion, as long as they don't make that same mistake again, maybe we can get back onto that patch, cycle that we had with 2.0.
I really hope so. And I feel like there's been a few times where Yoshi has said, they learn from their mistakes in Heaven's Ward and they're planning farther ahead for Stormblood, so that doesn't happen. All right, well, Patchin, thank you so much for your call. Did you have any shout-outs you wanted to give, buddy?
Yeah, sure. To my FC, Royal High Society, out in Matthias, and my Facebook group, the Matthias server. So, shouts to those guys if they watch.
All right, well, thank you again so much for the call, Patchkins. Again, if you want to call, talk to us about 3.55 or whatever is on your mind. That is a Limit Break Radio on Skype or 810-515-8715. We also have Discord, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. The ever-lovely Kooky Persona is awaiting you.
So we haven't talked about the fight Zervan yet.
Have you done Extreme yet?
I haven't done Extreme yet.
Has anybody done Extreme
I've watched
yet?
the guide for it, but I didn't have time to do it last night.
I'm sure Nika, being our endgame correspondent, has cleared the fight.
Nika, have you cleared the fight? Nika?
That would be a no.
Sorry, my mic is muted. No,
Oh.
I haven't finished it.
Sloppy.
Usually my raid group finds time to do the X modes and farm together, and we are actually progressing NA11 for once, so we have not done it yet.
Well, I mean, even just going on the easy mode.
The normal was, I had a ton of fun with this fight.
I don't.
Really?
All right,
That's
look.
fun. I loved it.
When he does the his like ultimate move, like that
yeah.
was cool. How it goes in like cinematic mode, like all the
Oh,
bars
yeah.
and everything goes away. Yeah, that was really cool. But I felt it was too easy for me to really get a good grasp on how fun it is or isn't.
Apparently, the EX mode is also pretty easy.
Is it? Really?
Like
I thought I
bordering
heard
on
that it was-
Shiva, pretty easy.
I thought it was harder. It was supposed to be harder than Sophia.
No. Like,
Well, Sophia's not considered particularly difficult.
No, it wasn't. It was the first one that I actually farmed.
Yeah.
From what I've understood, Sophia is able to be recovered easily, but Zervan is easier. But if you die, then it snowballs into an impossible win state.
Yeah, so the mechanics are easier, but there's no recovering.
Yeah, if you lose someone during a critical mechanic, then it's over.
Interesting. All right. Well, probably the biggest thing about this patch, game changer.
Oh yeah.
Something we've had to wait 3 expansions for.
But it's so totally worth it.
But
Sloppy.
yes, but it's also missing a lot. It's
Sloppy.
Stop it.
No,
stop it.
That's what we're.
No.
That's what we got.
Stop.
That's what we were waiting for.
He was waiting for that drop.
The cross-server party finder.
Oh,
yeah, that's pretty good too.
What'd you think I meant?
Sloppy.
That drop.
Yeah, that's the best one, right?
You walked right into that
Finder
one.
is amazing.
It is. We're finally able to play with people on other servers, which is great.
Yeah.
But I feel like the one drawback is, again, I feel like we're getting unfinished content because you have this contact list, like people that you've recently partied with, right? But the only thing that I can see that it's for is to block people.
Yeah. Have you?
That's it.
But have you ever in your life been happier to be on the same data center as Balmung? Because their party finder messages are hilarious.
No.
Those are outstanding just to read through.
No.
We should do a
Eat a
segment on the
dick.
show. Okay.
Whoa.
We'll call it Eat a Dick. That's the segment on the show. Where we just read the party finders.
The first day when Nick and I were on stream, we popped it open and there was a party finder and the message was just boobs.
Boobs.
The party leader was Samus Rageborn.
Yes.
Yep.
Friend of the show, Samus
Yep.
Rageborn, living up to
And
the
he was
name.
AFK because we tried to troll him and it failed.
Yeah. But all right, so it's cool, obviously, yes, being able to group up with people on other servers. Of course it is. But without having any way, like you always have to do a private room if you want to go with them again, right? You
Right.
can't look at your contact list and be like invite or friends list.
Yeah, but you can't even. I don't even think you can really just rely on the password because if you don't exchange an outside game contact info, you're never gonna find them again. Like the contact list is nice. You can block and blacklist people on there, which is nice. But like, literally just tells you the last 50 people you played with. What if the last 8 people you played with were super awesome and you guys are actually thinking about figuring out a static, but you forget to get one person's info? You've got their name, but how the fuck are you going to contact them if no one's on their server?
Yeah,
Make a party finder calling out for them.
That's
I mean,
the one big
only way, but
downside.
that's horrible.
Party finder.
There should be a friends list server and a friends list data center.
Yeah,
Sloppy.
So look, we don't want to condemn the cross server party finder because it does exactly what it says it's going to do.
Yep, sure
it
does.
helps you find a party cross server, but that's it. And there should be so much more to it. Like I'm not being ungrateful or anything here, guys. Am I?
A little.
Am I?
A little.
Boy, you are just so determined not to be cool about this.
My favorite party finder message so far has been
Boobs.
Well, that one was outstanding, but it's a guy who's like,
Boobs.
are you tired of pretending to be a girl?
Boobs.
Tired of your microphone always being broken? Is your free company starting to catch on? Hire me and I'll come talk to your free company for you. $100K an hour. P.S. Not a girl, just 13.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's even funnier.
Woo, get
Oh
hype.
god.
That was courtesy of Balmung and maybe my favorite one I've seen so far.
Did you hire him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
But you already sound like a girl.
That's
true.
hilarious. I mean, honestly, other than that, I feel like I don't have a whole lot to say about the party finder. Obviously,
I could say it works very. The one thing I wish that it had is some kind of sort feature. Like it does have the click here for only trials and only whatever, but I would like to be able to see them all just sorted.
Well, of course.
So I can scroll through all of them, and it's not just a clusterfuck.
And then there's the downside that you can't actually like crossover party find for everything. Has to be some type of instance.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. How are you going to crossover a Fate?
I don't know, but every other fucking game manages to do it. I mean, yes, obviously it would take some type of like big overhaul
you
of
can
like
do open world monsters and other games crossover. That makes no sense.
Nika,
not open
honey,
world, but
Nika.
Fate.
No, even monsters.
crossover, it's
Yes,
open world.
Nika, it's been done. It's been done.
World of Warcraft has done
Games
it for like
do
3
it.
years.
So I realize that Final Fantasy XIV, it would have to do some type of extreme overhaul to do it. Like, okay, yes, I get that in this instance or in this case, it's not applicable. It's not something they could just like flip a switch and do. It would take a dramatic overhaul of systems. I understand that. But knowing that it does exist, it's like going and getting a Happy Meal, but they don't give you a toy.
I don't know.
You know it exists, but they're not giving it to you
for other stuff. Though.
Yeah, I just don't think it's like I don't want them to spend the development time on that. I don't
really.
care about
You don't want to be able to like go out and just hang out with someone in the world.
No. How often do you just go around killing enemies in the world?
Not even just killing enemies, just like hanging out and doing stuff, doing dailies with each other. You could party up for hunts and stuff like that. Like, if you could do,
you can already party up for dailies, like roulettes. You can already do that.
No, you mean like Beastman dailies.
daily quests.
Daily. Look, Nika. I know you're an.
Beastman dailies are solo quests.
I know that you are this end game person. That if you're not in a raid, you're just AFK somewhere in the gold saucer. But there is actually a world out there that exists beyond you in all of these zones, and people like to go out and explore them and do those things in there. And it's so
the one thing
empty.
I will agree with you on in this sense is finding a way to do Aquapolis crossover.
That'd be sweet.
It's an instance, however, it starts in the open world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that would be tricky, but that's probably the only thing I think that I feel like is missing because of that. The rest of the stuff, open world, you don't need other people.
I just don't feel like people would care enough about doing dailies with other people, like from different servers.
Some of my best memories from MMOs come from teaming up with just one or two personal friends and going out and doing stuff in the world and exploring. Cross-server party is only for when you want like a big party of 8 possible strangers to do stuff. And then you can't even create meaningful relationships with those people because then they're just on a 50-person contact list for a few days unless you want to blacklist them.
But here's the thing, I assume you're talking about doing stuff like that on WoW. In WoW, you can do grand epic things like go to another nation's like kingdom and kill their king.
No, even just
you can
going
do
out and
sweet
doing
stuff
little
like
tiny
that.
quests, harassing Moogles, drowning
Punching
puppies.
Moogles in the head. Yeah, drowning puppies.
Mhm.
That's a good thing to do with each other. Sure, why not? I don't know. That would be a lot of like server architecture work.
Yeah, no, I know it would. I know it's not possible, but when I look at it, I can't help but know that other games have it.
I could see it being something that might drop with an expansion at some point, not a patch.
No, yeah, no, I get that too, 100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And last, I think we've got
Anima weapons.
The Anima weapon.
Light farming.
Who's
It's
happy?
literally identical.
Yeah.
To light.
Oh, is it that
I
bad?
love the smell of queef in the morning.
It's actually not bad. If you find something that has sturdy light, it takes about 10 clears of a sturdy light to get 1 rune lit up, and you need 10 runes. I mean, if you get like 100 sturdy lights, you're good.
Ugh, that's so much. Like, imagine like, oh, okay, Stonewall Hard has sturdy lights, guys. Let's run it 10 times.
No, you find something that's fast. Like, I did 28 runs of A1 Savage the other day, and I got 4 runes out, or 3.5 runes out of it. It's so fast.
So much.
28 runs of it though.
It's so fast. It takes 3 minutes to clear the entire place.
Savage.
It's so fast.
I don't know. I remember light farming being a thing before, and I didn't like it then.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna continue sitting over here in my fuck anima stance. I don't.
I mean,
care.
I'm doing it.
Why
but
are
it's
you
gonna
doing
take
it?
a
Why?
minute.
Ask yourself why you're doing it.
Well, because first of all, I have the so far fully upgraded up until now,
Sure.
and it's the best weapon. So
And-
I just kind of do it naturally.
The glamour and the glow is just gonna be so amazing, especially for Ninja.
Strike 2.
Oh, we haven't had a strike in a while.
I know,
It's
you guys
been
are
a
doing
bit.
so good. I wonder who's going to get Strike 3 first. Nika's at 1, Juxta's at 2, Ascalia's at 1.
You're gonna
Nika's
give it
at
to
like
us.
5.
No.
Just keep erasing them.
Well,
But
because
he's
she does
mad
good.
Because I'm a nice person.
That's not how strikes work.
That's how my strikes work.
She
It
should
is,
get
yes,
balls.
it is.
Your strike
Never
zone.
mind, she already got those.
Your strike zone's weird.
Yeah, so the Anima weapon.
And really, what's the point? Because you're just gonna reroll Red Mage next year anyway.
I'm not.
That's me.
I know, I'm a little, but the thing is like, I don't know why you guys would do it because you don't raid. But I feel like for anybody who even does any kind of X Primal or anything, why wouldn't you want the endgame weapon?
Because you could already clear literally every content without it.
What eye level is the Zervon weapon?
265. 265.
Oh, is it 265?
Okay. And this Anima Step takes you to 270?
No, you're at 270. Wait, are we?
No, you're at 260.
This will take you to 270.
Yes, okay, so it takes you to 275.
And then 275.
And then the next step is going to be really easy and will take us to 275, which is equal to the raid, the Alexander weapons.
Okay. I don't know, man. Like, Anima weapon's so boring.
Because if Samurai is released and it is released as a tank, I'm most likely going to switch to that next patch. But I still feel that because I love Paladin, it's my favorite job, and I'm currently playing it in this patch cycle, I still want the best weapon.
See,
why wouldn't you?
Infinity Fox says, I'll finish my relic. It's just a matter of time since I'm at the oil step. That's where I am, and I haven't done hardly anything for relic because I just wait till it gets nerfed.
Ugh.
So then you can crank through it in an hour.
So how come you haven't cranked through the steps thus far?
Well,
like you should be up to the Umbright step, so the step that was before the current one, because that's been nerfed.
That's now been nerfed. Cool, I'll do another step.
If you're on the oil step, like
it's like one of the easiest steps, though. It's just 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just every time I get enough tomes, I just turn it in for one.
So nothing new with the relic. Otherwise, some of the designs look really cool and elaborate. Some of them are obnoxious. Looking at you, Bard, and some.
Oh,
of them,
come on! That's so good.
I didn't say it's not good. It's just obnoxious.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah. And then
that's
you have
why
stuff,
he likes it.
You have stuff like the ninjas that just seem so uninspired.
Ninja's so bad. So is Warrior and something else. I can't remember what it is.
What's the Dragoon one
Monk,
look like?
maybe.
Dragoon has a fucking dragon on it.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
like you take out your spear and then you suddenly have like a giant spirit gold dragon head on it.
It's the closest I'm ever gonna get. I'll do it.
You better do it now.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much everything that we have as far as reactions go to 3.5. Now, what we're going to cover next has actually been in our outline for a few weeks now. Escalia keeps putting it on there.
We should talk about it.
Yeah, so we're finally going to talk about it. And this is the New Year's greeting that Yoshi gave us beginning of this month, like, a month ago.
Yep.
And it was a riddle.
Yeah, this actually came out while we were live on the air, so we missed it that week, and we've just been busy ever since, so we haven't gotten back to it.
All right, well, you want to go ahead and read it then, Mr. Escalia?
Sure. Do we want to start with the old ones, the previous years?
Read the one that we need context for first.
Yeah.
All right. Look ye where the sun doth rise, see crimson embers. Darkening skies, look ye where the sun doth fall, see azure lost amidst the squall. Ancient Eastern proverb.
Final Fantasy VIII glamour confirmed.
Oh my god! I hate you.
Now, a lot of people took this to be a confirmation for Blue Mage because Crimson is Red Mage, so Azure is obviously Blue Mage.
Right.
And to be fair,
the other riddles have not had to do with jobs. They've always had to do with the MSQ.
Well, they have always had to do with MSQ, and they've also been kind of literal. When you look back at the one we got last year.
Like Crimson Embers, literally fire in the sky at Alamigo or something bullshit. Like, look where the sun doth fall, Azure lost amidst the squall. Like, something about the blue skies being gone because it's cloudy and dark and evil because Garlemald's stupid. Like, that is probably something like that.
Oh, it needs to be more than the coming storm from the west is approaching the fires of war in the east.
Why don't you read the one from last year and tell us what the literal translation ended up being?
So,
Scholar Escalia.
Yes, last year we got, in the beginning, before myth and legend, before light and dark, there was but the sea. In the beginning, before man and history, light and dark were divided. The sea sundered in 14. To the seas she cast her children for fear of the moon. For hate of the star, to the seas he cast his doom. And that's from the Journal of Louis Soir.
So how did this end up becoming relevant? You said that it's pretty literal.
It is pretty literal. It actually talks about the 14 worlds that we now know of, and it actually talks about what we learned about in 3.4 with Heidelin having basically allowed that to happen to stop Zodiark. And Zodiark, in turn, is the one who turned it back on... he created the darkness? I can't remember how Zodiark played into it.
So we got this at 3.2, but the revelations that you're talking about weren't actually revealed until the end of 3.4.
But when they were very sensible. It's not like...
Yeah, it was 14 worlds and the bad guy.
Yeah, like SE sometimes has a habit of thinking, like it's really kind of a vague connection, And then, you're like, okay, yeah, I guess that works. With this one, when you actually got the story, you're like, oh, that's pretty well what was said to us.
All right.
I mean, people in the chat are telling us that actually Heavensward equals the azure skies of Ishgard in Japanese. So if they actually call Ishgard the azure skies, they're basically saying Ishgard is being lost as we're going to the east to where the fire is. And all literally like old expansion out, in expansion new. Yay!
Okay, because look ye where the sun doth rise.
Yeah, the east.
So we're looking east. We got Crimson Embers, Darkening Skies, or there's a war going on.
Yeah, there's a war.
Look where the sun doth fall.
So
but hold on, I would say that north
would be
is where Ishgard would be.
Yeah, Ishgard.
Not comparatively to Alamigo. It's west of Alamigo. It's northwest.
Okay, well, it's not in relation to each other.
We're leaving our area. Like, we are the west. Alamigo is the east. That's just the thing. So I just feel like it's basically saying Heavensward was Ishgard, out with Heavensward, in with Stormblood. That's what it's saying.
But so Azure, blue, right? Blue,
right?
Blue. Sky, water, snow.
But Ishgard is called the Azure Sky of Ishgard. That's what Heavensward is called in Japanese.
There was a lot does take place in the skies in Heavensward.
That just it seems like such a lame riddle then to be like, all right, guys, so
they're not really. They're not riddles. They're not supposed to be riddles. I think we are looking at them and thinking too hard. Like when we look at the last one,
says the girl who looks at data mines of SAM.FR and freaks out and says, "Oh no, this is very little. It's very clear what's going on here, guys. How are you so dense? How are you not figuring this out? Very clear. This means Samurai is confirmed."
They're not riddles because they're so literal. They're literally like, oh, this is from the Journal of Louiswa. He wrote this. It's a proverb. It's a whatever. It's not a riddle. It's supposed to be something that is melded into the lore. It's not meant for us to be something to dissect and figure out. So I feel like, but I do notice that all of the past ones have been from Louiswa, and this one is an ancient Eastern proverb, which is from.
Okay,
that is very strange. All of a sudden,
let's take a look at 2015 before 2.5. To naught but the ivory spear shellborn. Shellborn? Is that a typo?
Well, I just copy and paste.
To naught but the ivory spear shellborn male yield. Her point remains ever trained upon scales of black. Peer deep into the dust which swirls in our wakes, and know the bloody dance of light and dark to be everlasting. All right, so what was that one referring to then? Escalaria?
New main.
Great. Looking back on it, I mean, yet her point remains ever trained upon scales of black. That's referring to the Nidhogg and us being guided north towards Ishgard.
Bloody dance of light and dark.
And know the bloody dance of light and dark to be everlasting, referring to there was a big theme at the later part of Heavensward that this war will never end because we're mad about something they did, they're mad about something we did, and we keep killing and getting mad about that. New generations continue to become angered by this war that is ongoing, and it will never end. And I think that's the everlasting dance that they refer to.
All right. And then the very first one we ever got in 2014, before patch 2.2, Lances of light herald the dawn, beckoning shadows deeper still. Splendor dances with shades, unsheathed rime-kissed blade, spills crimson aura fields of white.
Red Mage confirmed.
Way back in 2014.
Right before 2.2.
And go ahead and give us your thoughts on that one then.
This one... No, I don't know what this refers to.
Can't think that far back.
Dude, I don't even remember what was going on at this time.
Shades, unsheathed rime-kissed blade. I think this was a hint that we were getting ninja. Actually.
Oh. Splendor dancing with shades, unsheathed, rime-kissed blades. Yeah.
But Nika, you just said none of the past riddles had anything to do with jobs.
I mean, I didn't read this one.
Yeah, actually, when you say that, though...
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah, that is very...
Lances of light herald the dawn, beckoning shadows. The first part, though, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's saying something about the domens or... Gosh.
What happened in 2.2?
That was Leviathan.
That was Leviathan?
And when did we get Ninja? 2.3?
Was it
Ninja was
2.4.
Yeah, I don't think this is Ninja. I think Nika, actually, miraculously, it must have been an accident.
Jesus.
You definitely pulled a lawn there. Yeah, the fact that everything is from the Journal of Louiswa, except for this most recent one, which is an ancient proverb. Now, I think looking at them, we can all agree that each of these relates in some way it's kind of foretelling something about the future, right? But then suddenly we get an ancient Eastern proverb, but it seems like such a simple waste.
Was Louis Swat a prophet?
He was an Archon, though.
Yeah.
He was the leader of all of the ones like Urianger who were like, the Umbrella era is coming. Like in 1.0, he runs around screaming. Like Urianger runs around like, guys, we're all going to die. No one's listening. And Louis Swat kind of was the charge of that. So he had ways to predict things.
I think he is a seer of sorts, but
so he probably is kind of foreshadowing things a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
So then suddenly, so you think that suddenly, after getting all these cool little things that are kind of in a way, maybe sort of trying to predict or warn us about something in the future, suddenly they decide to give us one that is literally just, all right, guys, there's a war over there, so we're going to leave this place behind us.
I mean, but I think, look at it this way. It says it's an ancient Eastern proverb, which means it's probably a prophecy that's been passed on for generations in Alamigo. So if you look at it that way and say, like, okay, someday there's going to be some kind of battle in the East, and people will come from the West to help us. And I think that that's probably just the prophecy that they're talking to. So if instead of looking at it as, okay, heavyweights are coming, or heavyweights are leaving, bye,
but
whatever.
How does that have anything to do with, because I feel like what it's saying, you have Crimson Embers and Darkening Skies. Bad shit's happening. And then you have the Azure lost amidst the squall. Still, bad things happening. Something's being lost in a storm.
That maybe sounds like Garlemald is going to also attack Ishgard.
Okay.
Or not even Ishgard. What if what if Limsa's going to get sacked at some point?
But Limsa's red.
Limsa's in the West.
But
Azure is blue. They're the sea.
Yeah, they're the sea.
And they're in the West.
Till the sea swallows all.
Hold on. Ascalia might be onto something here, all right? All right, so as far as anyone who doesn't know about the events of Baelsar's Wall is concerned, what happened was the Alliance attacked Garlemald. Kickstarts the rebellion.
Yeah.
Right? That's what people who don't know about what really happened are going to think.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So Garlemald is going to need to launch some type of retaliation.
An offensive, yep.
Okay? Something that the MSQ always has us do is, even though we're in Ishgard or we're in Alamigo, we're always being brought back in some little way to Eorzea. They never completely leave it out, right? Sun sets in the west, okay? Yep. Limsa is definitely in the west. So maybe what this is telling us is, looky to where the sun doth rise. You have crimson embers, the skies are darkening, shit's going on in Alamigo.
The war's
right?
beginning, yep.
Look back over the other way towards the west where it sets. Guess what? There's shit going on over there. There's a storm coming to Limsa Lominsa. Now we have to choose. Do we help the rebels in Alamigo? Or do we help those who have been true to us and by our side this entire time back in Limsa? No, obviously we won't get to choose, but I don't
be the dilemma posed.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as simple as just, all right, there's a rebellion in Alamigo, let's go and help. I think there's going to be two attacks, and one of those attacks is going to be on someplace in the west. The fact that it's talking about the Azure, obviously,
someone also
could be Sky or Water.
The Azure Dragoon. What if he dies? Because everyone has been theorizing that Isinian's going to come back and help at some point.
Okay.
Why would he be in the
what
West,
we can't just look at we can't pick and choose individual parts. Yes, Azure could be the sky, Azure could be the Dragoon, Azure could be water, but the word squall is normally associated with a storm that happens at the sea. So when we take that into the equation as well, I think that Azure has to be the sea, has to be the water.
And if they're going to do this whole idea of us invading Alamigo, trying to liberate it, to believe that the Garleans aren't going to launch an offensive at some point, like to make us pay for doing that, is foolhardy. And they, frankly, they have to.
And because I think that's probably that's a good point.
Yeah, if we spend the entirety of the camp or of the expansion over in Alamigo fighting on their turf where there's no real risk or repercussion, like that's kind of weak. However,
and then they're gonna I think you're right. And then they're gonna attack us, and that's gonna be 5.0 Garlemald, right?
Possible. Well, I always figured 5.0 would be our incursion into Garlemald.
Yeah, I don't think they'd wait that long to attack us, but I think
it's gonna be like the same thing. The Dragonsong War ended in 3.3, and then the next two patches lead into Alamigo. I guarantee you, we could finish Alamigo at by 4.3 or 4.4, and then the last patch or two is going to be, oh fuck, they're attacking us. Now we have to go back and protect ourselves, and then we're like, shit, this is stupid. We're gonna retaliate. We're gonna march into Garlemald at the beginning of 5.0.
I could see that. I do feel like they will have to at some point there will have to be stakes on our turf. We've never been to Alamigo. Intrinsically, we don't care about Alamigo as players. Like, we've never been there.
Yep.
We're not really familiar with their play. We know we have ideas of what's going on. But at the end of the day, we don't have much of a reason to have a vested interest in Alamigo.
I disagree.
I don't.
Because we've heard so much about Garlemald, and that's why the Charlane's abandoned. That's why Doma is gone, and that's why Alamigo. And anyone I feel like anyone who's played Monk at all has some kind of investment in Alamigo, because we hear so much about.
I agree.
Okay, yes.
What used to, but this is the thing, is we hear about what used to go on at Alamigo and about the usurping of the king and how he went crazy and all of that stuff, but we know next to nothing about what's currently going on in Alamigo.
You're
which I find
thinking
very
about it
intriguing.
wrong. We as players, or we as individual characters, yes, we might have a vested interest in freeing Alamigo. But imagine you are one of the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance. Why do you, as a nation, have a vested interest in suddenly freeing them after what?
20 years?
After
40
20,
years?
30 years?
Yeah.
You don't. You don't have an incentive to do that. If you're going to
we
try...
didn't have incentive to help Ishgard either until we fled there and they were nice to us. So something is going to happen.
Well,
in 3.56.
again, you're looking at it from the Warrior of Light perspective. We fled there and helped them, but it took a minute before the Alliance decided to come in. And that's what we're looking at.
We know we already have Rauban, who has probably a lot of Ul'dah behind him. So we don't have to worry about Ul'dah. But worrying about
Rauban has no sway. Rauban might...
He's the leader of the fucking Grand Company.
Are you forgetting about the Syndicate? They make all the decisions.
That's true.
Did the Syndicate have a representative at the meeting?
Syndicate has Rauban. They have his arm tied behind his back.
Oh my god.
Rauban is a very big decision maker, though, and I think that he has enough people behind him and loyal to him to have enough of a sway.
Maybe,
However,
but when you're the leader,
Limsa, I'm not so sure.
When you're the leader of a nation, okay, you still have to ask yourself, by going and freeing Alamigo, how does this benefit Ul'dah as a whole? Because people are going to die. Resources have to be spent. So why should Ul'dah help free Alamigo?
Right. Well, at some point, something will have to happen to rally the people.
Yes. Now, if
people aren't like, if you can't just say like, I have a vested interest, I'm sending us to war. It doesn't. The people have to be into
Sana
it.
and Merlwyb won't come with us, though. Maybe they won't care enough, and then they're gonna get attacked. And now I'm scared for Merlwyb's life.
No, what has to happen is something like the Omega weapon has to pose a big enough threat that we say, all right, you know what? We got to go in there and stop it. And okay, yeah, we'll free them at the same time. And while we're distracted with that, it makes so much sense.
You know what it's going to be? Omega.
Okay, yeah, it very well could be.
The Alliance is going to want to stop Omega, because if they destroy whatever in Alamigo with Omega, then we're next.
What if this happens?
It's in everyone's benefit to destroy Omega.
Well, we're talking about Stormblood too. What if this happens like as soon as 3.52 or 3.5 part 2?
I think it's going to drop a lot quicker than we think.
Exactly. Like like we've been looking like the way the riddle writes, it talks about the East first. What if it happens in the other direction though? What if the cause of the whole war is a Garlean attack on?
There's nothing in here
Limsa.
that, even though the Crimson Embers comes first, there's nothing to indicate that it necessarily happens this way then that way. I think what it's saying is that you have two things going on at the same time, and that your attention is going to be divided.
Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with both.
In fact, I could see us, the Alliance, wanting to go help Alamigo, but when Garlemald launches an attack on Limsa, for example, they can't now. They can't justify sending troops to help a resistance when they're being attacked on their home soil. That's when we as the Scions step up and say we'll go in there and basically act as insurgents, and we'll do what we can.
And we've seen kind of this happened before with Heaven's Ward at the beginning. Our attention was very divided at the beginning of Heaven's Ward between looking for the Scions, helping Ul'dah, or finding the Sultana, and what was going on in Ishgard. So it would make sense to once again have our attention divided.
And I'm also hoping that because they finally brought back Yugiri, Hilda, Pippin, like we finally are seeing these characters that have been disappeared forever, that we will have somewhat of a group of like an army of people going forward. So I think that that's kind of foreshadowing.
Juxta, you've been very quiet.
Pippin, I must say, is my favorite X.5 character. He always shows up in the 0.5 patch.
Juxta, would you like to, after all of this little discussion here and this tinfoil hatting, would you like to make an official prediction on what you think the riddle might be alluding to?
Blue Mage.
God damn it.
Really?
I knew he was going to say that.
All that? You're going back to Blue Mage?
I think it's definitely more about Alamigo is the East, not Red Mage, and then something else is going on in the West. I can't see this being about jobs, but
yeah, I agree. But again, it is really curious that everything's came from Louis Sua's journal, except for this one.
Well, because I don't think Louis Sua had much knowledge of Alamigo and what was going on over there. I think that anything he was seeing was something that was affecting.
Okay, no, you know what? I'll give you that because.
And so now we're pulling from old Eastern.
Yeah, because even the Dragon Song War to some extent was still an extension or related in some way to stuff that had happened.
It had happened a long time ago.
Right.
This is the first time where we're creating new lore as we go.
Okay, I'll give you that one. That's fair. That's fair.
Makes sense to me anyway.
Yep. Well, that about wraps up all of that then. And
oh, goody.
Apparently, I'm not as good as pacing as Aniero because I was hoping we'd be at the end so we could skip this next part.
Oh God.
We're skipping it.
Do we have any like regular emails?
We do have emails.
Because I'm just seeing.
Well, fan fiction.
I like 3 fanfics.
Yeah.
We gotta hammer out these fanfics.
Okay, you know what? Here we go. Why don't Ascalia? You take this email from Emperor Kaze.
Okay, sure. But the fan fictions.
Look, we will do one fan fiction, but not till the end.
Okay, that's fair. Email from Emperor Kaze. Mr. Happy, you ruined FF14 Heaven's Word for me.
Dun, dun, dun.
What? We're Mr. Happy, though.
Your use of not announcing spoiler alerts has caused me to quit the game. You... What? Because you ruined the death of the Sultana, you son of a bitch. I fucking couldn't believe what you did me. You ruined my immersion.
It's actually Emerson.
Yeah, that's definitely Immersion.
Immersion, yeah. Fair enough.
But she didn't die.
And then it continues on. It's still Emperor Kaze, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's just because they kind of started again. Hey, LBR. How's it going? I have returned to the game. You might not remember me, Kaze. I am writing today asking people, please, whenever Mr. Happy is on, please tell that fucktard not to spoil the game. I would contribute anything to do anything. So that this microorganism of spoiling Juxta does not ruin the game again for me.
What?
I have no idea.
I'm doing my best, man.
This is so weird.
I stopped playing a year ago and have returned.
Retuned,
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. What contributed mostly to that is just how the community might react to someone who is in the middle of getting good. I have improved fairly, but just recently got over something major that was not allowing me to continue to participate or join in the community. That's everlasting hate from Mr. Happy. This guy's really changed my perception of the game. His methods, his way of thinking that he is better than everyone else. He is a cancer that we have in the FF14 community.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Does he know what?
Please don't let this fucking elitist continue to spread his message of spoiling throughout the network you are building. His channel is garbage. His server is garbage. His fucking Moghouse Lodestone account is garbage. Seriously, I fucking hate that guy. I know you guys are focused on bringing great content and working on Final Encountercast and Checkpoint, but don't let that shittard spoil anything on there, too.
Wow!
Does he know that Mr. Happy's not on this show?
Some serious hap hate going on here.
I have to ask, if you're going to be throwing shade, have you tried emailing Mr. Happy?
Yeah, why is he coming to us?
I think he did.
Are you just raging in front of the community?
I think he did send this email to Mr. Happy as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Other than that, Jump Potion. Good idea. Oh, God. Brings in players and lets people catch up to Nika, who I refuse to believe did all that work on that account herself.
Oh!
Wow!
It's clearly a troll email.
Nika account sharing.
She shares it with other people, has to. It's impossible to have all 60s and have a life. I blame Mr. Happy. JRPGs suck now because the people who worked in the industry from the golden age, 93 to 2004, anime, have quit and retired, moved on to better things. And now you have a whole bunch of Mr. Happies who are spoiling shit all over the internet, influencing anime-related games to fucking suck. I blame Mr. Happy.
Mr. Happy, the problem of all anime games right now.
Stormblood 4.0. I bet Mr. Happy will spoil that shit, too. It's going to be good. The lady in red, who is it? Let's ask Mr. Happy. He fucking knows everything. Japan's Fan Fest, Red Mage, who gives a fuck, Spider-Man shirt,
fuck you, dude.
Beastmaster for sure. We'll have to wait till Mr. Fucktard, Mr. Happy posts it. Anyway, thanks for the great shows and content. Please keep that dipshit away from it. Thanks, LBR team. Server Saga 10. character Emperor Kaze hate Mr. Happy's existence.
Wow, that was impressive. And
What just happened?
It was something else.
Wow.
Are we sure that that's not the shitstorm squall to the east that they're talking about?
Well, that just happened.
Was that? Were they like trying to show Happy how to do a roast?
That, you know,
I mean that yeah, I would say that's the closest thing to a roast because
What just happened?
I'll
I
take
don't know.
hate for having all 60s, but I definitely did all that myself.
You got served.
All right, guys, we're gonna go back to the phone lines here real quick. Now, before I let our speaker come on, I'm gonna set some stuff up here.
Oh god!
All right, this is where the comedy comes, guys. We're gonna get into some of the funny bits now, as we have someone on the line who holds some opinions that are kind of Nika level stuff, right? So everyone,
So they're good ones?
yeah. Join me in welcoming the Raffle Dragoon himself, Fusion Y of Limit Break Radio. Formerly of Limit Break Radio. What's up, Fusion?
What's going on?
We're T-minus 34 minutes from being ended with this misery.
What? We can only have one Dragoon on the show at a time. Escalia, you're muted.
But he's a red mage.
Not yet, he isn't.
Oh.
That doesn't mean you can leave.
I'm thirsty.
You can't mute somebody if they're dead, though.
Fair enough. All right, so it says here that you want to set me straight.
Please do.
Yeah, so the first two poems we got weren't from Louis Sua's journal.
Okay,
that's
well,
what it said.
that is not my
have them
fault
copied as
because
from
whoever
journal.
copy and pasted them to my outline said from the journal of Louis Sua. So where were the first two from?
The first two were from the Divine Chronicles, from the prophetess Messiah Thousand Eyes.
Oh, you know, that sounds familiar.
Was it possibly said that the excerpts were found, torn out, and placed in Louis Sua's journal?
No, because I remember when they started doing the Louis Sua's journal stuff, it was a departure from the Divine Chronicles poems we were getting.
Okay, so we got
feel like
in.
the two
But
were
didn't we
different.
find out that Louis Wa was studying the Divine Chronicles, though?
Could have been.
I do feel like that was a thing. But yeah, you're right.
They
It
were
wasn't his
definitely
journal.
from the Divine Chronicles.
So basically the 2.0 riddles, if you will, came from the Divine Chronicles, and
They might have even been the 1.0.
And the 3.0 ones came from Louis Sua's journal, and now the
4.0 are Eastern
the
Proverbs.
4.0s will be Eastern
more
Proverbs.
like it, yeah.
Interesting. Was that all then?
No.
Oh,
so
okay,
you guys were
all right.
talking a little bit without trying to go into spoilers. It's really hard not to.
No, it's not.
The Alliance has a very good reason to go into Garlemald now, and no, they're not going to be fighting Omega. They're going to be using Omega. What? I mean, think about it, right? Omega is this thing created by the Alligans. What did they use Ultima for?
We didn't use it though. The Garlemalds did.
Well, what did the Garleans use Ultima for? What
capture
did Ultima
primals.
do? Right. And now that we have a line on using Omega,
You think that
We
we're
don't
going to
have
use it to
Omega.
contain? Yeah, we don't actually have Omega yet.
we saw the trailer. Come on, Nero comes to the Alliance, and he's like, "Hey, I have Omega." Like,
So you think that the Alliance is going to make the same mistake that Gaius did and actually use an icon machine?
And you think
No,
that we're
I
going to
think-
team up with Nero of all people?
We've done it before.
Crystal Tower says that.
Yeah, come on.
I don't but we're so tired. I don't know. But
Well,
I
I mean,
feel like
look at
in
it
the
this way.
expansion where we're going to start attacking the Empire, I would be way too nervous to trust him at this point.
But I mean, when you think about it, right? The whole thing with Ultima, it like absorbed primal essences. What do we have right now that we're trying to deal with after the first part of the story? We don't have Louis Swa anymore. There's other things now that we had that we don't have anymore, and we have what looks very similar to the end of 1.0 hanging in the sky. We need to do something with it.
Good point.
but you think they'll
and
use
also
Omega?
another good reason is that
Yes!
because I think what's going to happen is that we obviously know Garlemald is going to attack us because of what the Griffin's team of rebellions
Exactly.
did by pretending to to be Grand Company people, and I think that is also going to trigger Garlemald to be pissed at us.
Yeah.
So we have enough reason to go into Alamigo if not just because that's where Garlemald is.
We're not getting attacked. Limsa's not getting attacked. Ulda's not getting attacked. Gridania is right there. But when you think about it, look at a map. Where's Garlemald? Where's Alamigo? You focus the attention at Alamigo. They don't get anywhere west of Alamigo, and that's where 4.0 is. And then
You guys
after
would be
4.0 and
so
5.0, we go
bad
into
at
Garlemald.
war.
We keep pushing.
You would be so bad at war. Okay? If we are attacking their outpost at Alamigo and they want to cause us damage, they wouldn't then go and back Alamigo up. They would use that instance when all the other Alliance towns don't have a lot of defense at them to launch some type of aerial or naval
they have to go,
attack.
Oh, they have to go past Alamigo. Alamigo is a lot closer to the water than a lot of people realize. They would have to go by there.
Thank you. Yeah, I know that the Limsa Lominsa Navy has supposedly been holding their own against the forces of Garlemald for a long time now, but yeah, there's always the concern of an airstrike. We've seen the Garleans to be very functional with aerial vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a shame that we don't have some kind of aerial ally like dragons or something that we could use then.
Interesting. And they would have to cross
We tell
Ishgard.
you, if the Empire is in the northeast, they have to come down to the southwest. They're going to go right over Alamigo, where 4.0 is focused. We got Gridania. We'll see them.
Well, can't they? Is there
launch-
a landmass that? Can they not just take their boats and go all the way down south and then come all the way up around and hit
They
Limsa
could go
that
south,
way?
but Alamigo is right on the east of Aldenard.
Or this could also be a matter a giant, huge, full-scale attack might be out of the question because it's something we would see coming. But it wouldn't be out of the question for them to launch some type of smaller, focused attack.
Like what we do?
Trying to, assassinate Merylwib.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Right? And
Get rid of that Migo
that
thing.
would totally stop. Listen, that would send, based on the fact that they're like a little pirate nation, if Merylwib was assassinated, all of Limsa would descend into chaos.
It's true.
You're not wrong.
If they killed Merylwib, that would be as believable as the time that they killed off the Sultana.
That's
the thing. I can't trust any deaths of any of these main characters.
It's so true. SE has not ever given us a reason to believe a character is going to stay dead at this point.
Except that we actually buried Harshiphon, so he's not.
Yeah, but
unless he comes back as a primal, there's no way he's going to.
But so many times we've had a character come back that it's even though sometimes a character has stayed dead, you're still all right.
I have so many theories that I don't want to spoil.
Midphilia. Midphilia was quote unquote dead, but she's chilling next to Hydaelyn, so she's
Comes
still
back
there.
anyway. Yeah.
She was never dead, and everybody knows
The only time they did it right,
she surpassed life and death.
It was with a character nobody cared about, so we don't even really remember it all that much, and that's with Moonbreeda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Everyone loves Moonbreeda.
No,
I know someone
they
who's
don't.
actually making a cosplay of Moonbreeda.
She was that Lalafell, wasn't she?
Fuck off.
She was the Sombra cosplaying Rogadin.
They killed off Moonbreeda because she was too smart and had all of the magical tools to defeat all of the Ascians. They're like,
She was
we can't have
Armageddon.
someone that
I
OP,
think they
we
killed
gotta
her
kill
off to make Urianger actually seem like a person.
Well,
I mean that's possible too.
They
But I
did
think
do
that
that.
she had the knowledge and the research and the tools to have all these magical vials to entrap all of the Ascians, and I think she was just too OP for the story, so they had to kill her off.
Sure.
You're not wrong. She literally was hey,
she came in and she was like, hey guys, I have this thing that can solve all of our problems.
Yeah.
And the story is that would be too easy button.
Moonbreeda, what do you do in your spare time? Oh, I sell Deus Ex Machinas. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to add, Fusion?
No, that's it. That's all I had.
I want to add something,
Okay.
Mr. X. So you said that the first passages were not from the Journal of Louis Soir. I just brought up the news post from way back when. Look at all. Oops. All right, here we go. Look at all these, which say from the
Journal of Louis Soir Leveleur.
So before you call me out on misinformation, maybe you should do some fact checking, Mr. Trump.
Oh, hey now, be nice to the guests.
Yeah, that's from 2014. That's not the original.
Those are said the two first riddles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is this the first lodestone that you're looking at?
These are the ones we're talking about.
We were reading the ones on our outline. The ones we didn't read were not the ones we were talking about.
It's actually, there's a GIF, or not a GIF, but there's an image of a little panel, it's been etched in stone, and it says, from the Journal of Louis Soir Leveleur. Woo! So I'm afraid that you just got told by Juxta, man.
How's it feel?
But those aren't from the 1.0 lodestone.
We never said
didn't talk
anything
about those!
1.0 lodestone.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There were ones from the 1.0 lodestone.
You mean to say that these aren't?
Okay, so
Okay.
he wasn't correcting us. He was just saying we left some out.
Yeah, he's saying that because we said that this was the first time we had one that wasn't from Louis Schwab, and we had one before.
I see.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Wow.
Well-
So thank you so much for that correction, Fusion. I'm really glad that we had you on for that.
I didn't play 1.0, so it doesn't exist to me.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
But the story was fantastic, and all the shit leading into Coil was
Dude,
awesome.
1.0 Korthus was like the best zone ever.
Okay, you know what? Aniero's not here today, so we're not having a 1.0 circle jerk. Did you want to thank or shout out to anyone, Fusion?
Just shout out to everybody tuning in here. Everybody that tuned in to 8th Rate Radio yesterday. And,
How'd it go?
Everybody else that supports podcasters and content creators.
I was actually going to cut you off before you got to say anything, but I didn't because I am a merciful Lord.
Oh,
Thanks for
God.
not being an ass.
You're welcome. Thank you, FusionX, for the call. We appreciate it as always. And
right.
now, guys.
No, we got to do this. One other email here.
One other email?
Yeah.
You have a specific one you want to read?
Is it the fan fiction?
Oh, no, I might just be trying to stall for time.
Why don't we read a fanfic because we got plenty of time.
Hold on. Is there actually an email that you want to read?
No, I just don't want to read this fanfic.
Okay, well, guess what?
Well, we have a lot of emails. Let's read this one from the Hero Maniac.
All right, go ahead, Nika.
Okay, it says, "Hey, host,
Hold on.
it's
Is
the
this
Hero Maniac."
about Samurai?
I don't know.
If this is about Samurai, I'm muting you.
Is it about Samurai? Okay, I do see Spider-Man. I do see Spider-Man mentioned,
It
so maybe
sure
it is. I
is.
don't know. I didn't even read it. Okay, the Hero Maniac from Cactuar mailing it again. I was talking to my friends who had stopped playing 14 a while back about the new jobs and the Spider-Man hint for the next class. I was telling them about last week's special where you guys were discussing out what Yoshi P knows about Spider-Man that seems obvious to him but not to us. That is because Spider-Man in Japan was a Sentai Ranger. It also ties into the hint that we have about the new job being tied to the Moonfire event. No, I'm not suggesting that the new job will be a Sentai Ranger, although that would certainly be interesting. Looking at the Sentai Rangers and the version of the armor we have in the game, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that if Japanese Spider-Man and the Moonfire Fair are both hints at the new job, we just might be getting Samurai after all. It may seem as much of a stretch as some of the other theories, but this theory takes into consideration the Spider-Man shirt, the Japanese perspective of Spider-Man, the Rising teaser, and the Moonfire hint. I try to call in this Sunday to share my crazy theory, so if I do, obviously there's no need to read this, but best of luck, hosts, and keep up the good work, the Hero Maniac.
So
Sentai Ranger job would be actually hilarious. Like you go into battle and then you click attack and it just transforms you into a uniformed outfit.
Power Ranger, the job.
That'd be a lot better than Samurai.
It would
at
definitely
least.
be better than Samurai. That's
I'd take
100%
that.
for sure.
Okay, back the fuck up here. I actually want a real opinion, Kallo. Why don't you want Samurai?
He's told you like 80 times he wants to see you
I
cry.
refuse to accept because Nika doesn't like it. You scream that's not your bias. I want to know why, if anything's better than Samurai, what is wrong with Samurai intrinsically as a job that makes you not want it?
There is nothing wrong with Samurai. I literally don't want it because it would take away so much of the dynamic in our show of making fun of you.
Okay.
Did you really believe you were going to get a different answer than that?
I actually feed off of misery. That is 100% true.
Have you watched his D&D campaigns?
That just means that you are a horrible, horrible person.
But
That's
does
correct.
it? Because I do nice things for people. I bought Juxta a Valentine's Day chocolate.
Does Juxta need more chocolate? Was that a nice thing?
Wow, that was a good one, Nika. Thank you. I expected that from Kallo, but not from you, Nika.
What did I say?
All right,
I'll just lead the conversation that way.
All right. But anyway, this should not surprise you in the leadest, Nika, because I just have one thing to say.
What?
I'm an action figure.
I never
Vegas.
noticed that it has a squeaky sound in it.
I love the squeak. It's so good.
You've never noticed that before?
All right, guys, look. I don't know if I promised, but I told Aniero last week that I would read one of these fanfics. Okay? I know.
Do we want to read it without Aniero? Because we always have everyone for fanfics.
You know what? He has to edit this. He has to edit this, so he's going to hear it anyway.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, why doesn't
Yeah.
he come into the room? He doesn't have to talk, and you can read it to him.
Nope. Here we go. So this fan fiction was done by. Nope. There's no byline. So
God.
here we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with it. As the sun set on a warm summer's day, the young glistening Escalia was lying on her backside, resting in preparation for what was to come this evening.
God.
I'm coming! I'm coming!
Oh, yeah, we
Kill
don't
me.
have the music.
She felt her thighs begin to shake, knowing what the pain would soon fade when her medicine was finally served. The Amalja hunters returned from their long day of hunting.
Wait, the what hunters?
Amalja?
Amalja.
Like, as in people who hunt Amalja, or Amalja that are hunters?
No, I think it's hunters that are Amalja.
I don't know. We'll find out. And began to sit by the fire. Escalia slithered over to her chosen king with a glazed-over look in her eyes. The Amalja looked down at Escalia. All right, well,
all right. Well, there you go.
These are beastmen. These are beastmen.
Beastmen.
Great.
Escalia.
Oh, good.
Looked down at Escalia with a hard glare, then began to announce to the entire group that he would give his drake, Escalia the Sand Drake, that would mount all of Eorzea.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Halfway through the speech, Aniero began to mouth off to the Amalja. I promised you this filthy cat whore for my savage clear, you dirty elitist. Juxta looked up at his daddy.
Oh, I'm here too?
Oh, yeah. With that, his seed still dripping from his mouth. Daddy, do not now.
What?
Do not now, Daddy.
Aniero could not be stopped, though, for he was the worst kind of casual. The kind of casual that demanded that content be nerfed so that even he could clear it.
Oh, I knew I was not actually like that, though. This is breaking my immersion.
The Amalja stood up and took an A12S Dark Knight sword from his pouch. Escalia held to the Amalja's calf while Aniero walked over grinning, saying, "This is all I ever wanted. You can have the paladin over there as well if you like."
No, thank you.
The Amalja snarled and said, "No thanks. I'd rather fuck a cat girl over that she-hulk of a monstrosity."
Good.
Juxta knew what this meant. Tonight his daddy would be very happy. He might even allow him to face his daddy while he gave him his blood weapon. As Aniero clutched the I-275 weapon, he began to realize that he had never had such a powerful item while it was relevant, and had a strong urge to stand in idly shire next to a Ravana bird or two while his weapon was out.
Okay, that was fun.
If you think this is huge, then you should see my ego.
The Amalja said to Aniero, "Why don't we have a quick duel to try that out?" Aniero agreed and began to lunge at the Amalja. The Amalja quickly took one slice of the Dark Knight, landing a fatal blow. Juxta pulled up his pants and ran over to his daddy, screaming, "Why? Daddy, why?" The Amalja laughed and said even a casual would have been able to dodge that. Your daddy was a bad. The kind of player who doesn't even know what tank stance is.
Don't say that about Daddy.
The Amalja picked up his Escalia and proclaimed to the entire group that he would carry her through every raid and give her every piece of I-270.
Hey, this Amalja really likes you.
What?
The Amalja dragged Escalia to the river bend and tore off her clothes.
Okay.
Is it bestiality or I'm not really sure?
Escalia's face was overcome with joy and her tail became fully erect. As Escalia was being pounded from behind with the Amalja's hand clasped firmly around her throat, the Amalja noticed a necklace around her throat. This was an I-270 piece. Her screamed, "You whore! Who carried you? I was supposed to carry you."
What?
Escalia looked at him and said, "I would never cheat on you, master. I just tried to clear the content on my own." The Amalja smiled and turned her back over, and just as he was filled her with his sweet seed, Escalia let out a loud screech, sprang all over the sand in bliss. Escalia then noticed that the Amalja hands gripped her neck harder, until she couldn't breathe anymore.
What?
She creamed, "Why, master?" The Amalja said, "I don't want some elitist whore to bear my seed." He then left the cat girl's body naked in the sands.
Wait!
If only she had just been the casual she had always been. Meanwhile, in the camp, Juxta lay there knowing what he would not knowing what he would do now without his daddy. The large female paladin walked over and smiled down at Juxta.
Oh, God.
"I will be your daddy." Juxta said, "But how, Nika?" Nika then took out her large roe cock and said, "All us roes have massive cocks. Now call me daddy, fuckboy."
Oh my God.
All right, wait a minute. Is that a fucking snuff fic?
Yeah. I think
Did I just get strangled to death?
Yeah. You were carrying.
Because you raid now, and this Amalja, who is apparently good enough to raid, is not down for that.
I just want to point out, like, there's apparently a story arc that takes place before this one where I don't know, my mind is broken by this Amalja's thick dick or something.
But then you decide to raid, and L is good.
Yeah, that doesn't bug me. But I do get bugged by being snuffed out. That's so weird.
Okay.
Ugh.
Does this really surprise you?
No.
I
I just thought we'd build up to murder. I didn't think we'd start at murder.
This is like the third or fourth one we've read. We did build up.
I know, but we haven't gotten anything like really kinky yet.
You and Juxta literally dueled with your cocks after he used black magic on it.
Yeah, I know. I said we haven't got anything real kinky yet.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, you know what?
Oh yeah, that one was from a Scalia lover. That's who wrote that.
Oh, clearly the love is flowing.
From
you can feel it.
From a Scalia lover.
From a Scalia lover, and they write me getting murdered. Cool.
Yeah, great.
They love you that much that if they can't have you, no one can. Not a raid, not a giant Amalja King.
To be fair, though, it didn't actually say you were dead.
They just squeezed my neck until I couldn't breathe anymore, and then threw my body in the sand.
And left you in the sand.
Okay.
Naked. Thank you very much.
You could just be there crying.
You could have woken up later. Like, you always see in the movies, suddenly they're like, and they're alive. I mean, it's not likely. It's not likely.
Odds are your neck's broken and you're dead, but yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that some type of, like a drake or something probably came by and started to eat your remains after that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was left for the vultures.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. After fucking your butthole.
Thank you for that. Can we be done now? Can we go home?
Come and get it.
Yeah.
All
Time
right,
to chew
guys.
ass.
All right. Wrong show. All right, guys. All right.
Sloppy.
Juxta, I swear to God. I swear it. I will end you. All right, guys.
Sloppy.
Motherfucker.
What's wrong?
Are you done?
No.
Get it out of your system. Come on.
I'm going to wait for you to outro again. I'm just going to wait.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Hopefully this was just as great of a show, even without Aniero. I want to send a special thank to all the callers we had today, including Fusion Y. Thank you so much. Thank you to, of course, Juxtaposition, Ascalia Rayumasia, Nika Kayanian, Aniero Grigori, who wasn't here, and the show got done without him. As always, guys, we are Limit Break Radio. Be sure to check us out at limitbreakradio.com. And until next time, guys, see you later.
Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Kuki Persona, Juxtaposition, and Ascalia Rayumasa. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square-Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Satori Komeji, Dark Flux, Null Packet, Shira Heartslot, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/limitbreakradio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.
Sloppy.